Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, presented live here by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew, Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the entire gang over at Go Chevrolet. They've got a used car lot over on the corner of Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest, and then they've got a brand new car lot out in Laplace, Louisiana. Go Chevrolet, online at GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Katie is here, Jack is here, Lloyd is here, Noah still finding his way around campus.
He's in the bunker, though.
Yeah, I see him.
There's a strong chance we might get a dropout from Noah. I mean, you know, you're already working.
Drop out of school?
Yeah, why not?
Stop.
I mean,
you tell us this every day.
If I were him, I would be so out on school. There's nothing he's going to learn there that he can't learn with us.
His parents are listening, for God's sake.
You're not wrong.
No, I'm just telling
We've
you.
had them dupe that we've been a positive influence on Noah up to this point. Now we're urging him publicly to drop out of school.
Yeah, catch Noah by the pool and see if he's a good influence.
Noah, stay in school. Jack, how's campus been?
It's actually really nice to see people again.
Yeah.
It was very scary last year not seeing anybody. But the best thing on the first day of school, I've seen with my own eyes, is someone's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be here. And they press the send button on their laptop, drop the class, and just walk out. Well, that wasn't meant to be.
That was me whenever I took Spanish at LSU. I took 2 years of Spanish at Menard. Shout out Menard. He was my baseball coach, so I never really took a test. And then you go into LSU, and they're speaking strictly Spanish in here. I was like, I don't know
There's no
a
softball.
single word of this. And I looked at the teacher, looked around the room, was assigned a group project, and I told the guy after class, like, look, I won't be back after this. Like, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to find a new partner. Drop my class, change my major that day.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I expect nothing less from
There
you.
we go.
Nothing less. We are jam-packed in the second hour today, as we will talk to Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois coming up here at the end of hour number 2. So 8:45, we've got the chef penciled in to join us here. If you got any food questions, jump inside of the bunker. We will answer them, whatever you got, whether it's tailgate questions or whether it's just cooking at home. Let us know inside of the bunker. We will ask the chef coming up here at 8:45 this morning. At 8:30, we'll talk to Nick Underhill, who is the authority for our New Orleans Saints information. Underhill, who you can read his work online at NewOrleans.football. Hopefully you are a subscriber to that website by this point, as the Saints are coming down the stretch here of preseason and training camp, getting ready for the regular season. We'll ask him what Jameis Winston's performance a couple of nights ago versus Jacksonville did for that quarterback race. A lot of people believe now it's kind of over, right? I mean,
all in that one throw.
Jameis Winston's the guy.
Wasn't that a very, like, that was a typical Jameis throw, though? Anything could have happened.
I
It was
know.
just perfect. He threw it into double
perfect.
coverage. It just, that's what you're going to get with him
Which
sometimes.
one are we talking about? I
Yeah, exactly.
Both touchdown passes were dangerous yet beautiful.
Yes.
I mean,
They
like,
Do you
Okay.
live with that? Especially the one with the flag to Callaway.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but mostly because if you're
I mean,
a
no one
Saints
could get
fan,
it.
you haven't seen that in 5 years. You haven't
Dude.
seen them push the ball down the field.
Watch that
So we were
thing.
just like, this feels like a trick play.
We all feel like Sean Payton's one of the best coaches alive, right?
Yes.
I mean, like in the world of football. To me, this could be his greatest story if he writes Jameis Winston and gets some type of team accomplishment out of it. You know, like an NFC championship game, a Super Bowl, something like that. If they were able to, I mean, you look around now. I mean, their roster is very impressive when the quarterback looks right. I mean, the offensive line, they've got players, they've got people in the backfield. They might have the best running back in the game in Alvin Kamara. They may have the best wide receiver in the game when he's right mentally. The defense looks really good. I mean, think about if Quan Alexander works out. I mean, think about if he turns out to be a player, what your defense could possibly be. I mean, if Sean Payton's able to squeeze team success with Jameis Winston as his quarterback, and Jameis playing, you know, not 9 of 10, 2 perfect touchdowns, but just, you know, a winning style of quarterback play, right? I mean, for as dominant as the last 15 years have been, and as impressive as they have rewritten the record books, not only in the New Orleans Saints history, but almost in the NFL offensively. What it would be like to win with, I mean, it almost has a Tennessee feel when Peyton Manning's there and rewrites the record books in the SEC, and then the first year that he's gone, T. Martin wins he wins a national championship.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah, that is very similar.
Like, you set the table and you could tell this team was good. And you were you laid the bricks. You were the founding father for the New Orleans Saints being good. If you're Drew Brees, then you turn around and leave and get to see almost the fruits of your labor extend past what you've done, which is what happened to Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I don't know if that's just because Tampa Bay is such a player in this division now.
Yes.
LA
And that's something they never really had to
look around. Carolina looks pretty good.
Terrace Marshall looks great.
I mean, did you see Sam Darnold? What he was saying about Terrace Marshall? I mean,
What did he say?
Oh, he was saying how polished he is as a route runner, how great of a guy he is, first and foremost. I mean, he's a great dude. But just, I mean, work ethic, route running, hands, just quintessential, just a quintessential wide. I mean, like, not a rookie.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's hit 2 big plays in the first 2 preseason games. I mean, he's knocked the top off of 2 NFL defenses early on in his first 2 preseason games.
I think he'll be their number 2 starter at wide receiver.
I agree.
And especially the Joe Brady connection. He just knows how to use him. He's like, I've read this book before and I loved it.
Well, if you remember 2019, I mean, we all do. Terrace Marshall was he was kind of a security blanket for Burrow. I mean, through those first 6 games, I think he got hurt versus Vanderbilt in the 6th game of the season. But then he was back. I mean, he caught a touchdown pass against Auburn. He was the guy. I mean, his numbers, if you look through the first couple of weeks of the game, he was the one that was really – he had 3 touchdowns versus Georgia Southern.
I think he led the nation in touchdowns for, like, the first 4 weeks or something like that. Yeah, before he got hurt.
So it'll be fun to watch.
But I would say, I guess we were all kind of chastising the Saints for not giving Terrace Marshall a look. I guess they knew they had something to Marquez Callaway.
Is he legit?
I would imagine Callaway's legit. After what I saw, he looks like a player.
What else do you need to see?
I know, it's just 1 game.
I mean, no. It's been a couple of games with Callaway. I mean, and if you actually rewind the tape to last season at the end of the year, he was starting to come on. I mean, people were asking, who is this guy?
Right.
And I was like, is this the Callaway from Tennessee? And now, I mean, he's the Saints' number 1 threat. And then potentially, if you get Traquan Smith and Michael Thomas back, I mean, that being your 3rd option, the Saints have gone from dire at the wide receiver spot to, like, one of the most plentiful in the league.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Biggest concern will be DB still.
Yes, without question. Cornerback.
Josh Norman.
Cornerback specifically.
Yes, which is even worse.
So we'll talk to Nick Underhill all about that coming up in the 2nd hour today. Cody Worsham is going to be here at 8:15 this morning. Of course, Worsham, who is a communication strategy guy up at LSU. He's headed the digital department. Will stop in here and talk about the decision that came down yesterday and was announced by LSU that Tiger Stadium's protocols for this 2021 season is going to be pretty strict. They're going to have all guests, all visitors 12 years of age and older to have to prove vaccination or a negative COVID-19 PCR test that had been taken within the last 72 hours to gain entry into Tiger Stadium. This decision comes after consultation. I'm reading directly from the LSUsports.net website from the official press release from LSU. And it says the decision comes after consultation and support from Governor John Bel Edwards, LSU President William F. Tate, Board of Supervisors, Tiger Athletics Foundation, and Director of Athletics Scott Woodward. As the flagship institution of the state of Louisiana, our foremost responsibility is to ensure the safety of our students and our supporters and our community, Tate said. While we are aware of the diverse perspectives across the nation regarding masks and vaccinations, we must take all reasonable measures to protect our campus and community, not only on game days, but long after the guests have left Tiger Stadium. The current threat to our lives, our health, and to our medical systems due to COVID-19 is overburdening our hospitals, and we must do our part to stop the spread. The policy will be in effect beginning September 11th as LSU opens up their home schedule versus McNeese. A list of vaccination sites in Louisiana is available on a website that they provide for you over there at LSUsports.net. Obviously, this is a very polarizing decision. This is something that is going to create much reaction. I don't even think that you even have to look outside of our show. We posted just a simple statement from LSU yesterday.
Posted it in class and just watched.
And we have kicked up to this point, nearly 70 comments over the last 12 hours. I don't know if we've got an image or a video out there that has caused this type of reaction that this one has, especially from a interactive commenting standpoint. I mean, that we've had success with like likes and shares before, but as far as the comments go, I mean, we are approaching 70 comments, and this thing hadn't even been up for 12 hours.
Right.
So obviously, a very polarizing decision.
I think Southern followed right after, right?
Is that right?
Did I see that? Did y'all see that? I'm pretty sure I saw that
Is
on the
there
news
mask
last night.
mandate at the stadium yet?
Not yet.
It's gonna.
Not yet. But
trust me when I tell you when you're on campus.
Well, the big shoe that's going to drop next is going to be the tailgating protocol.
Well, that's what someone just said in the bunker. He heard it was canceled.
No.
But is that true or not? I feel like we would have heard that.
I don't know if it's going to be canceled.
Or like that. Well, they can not allow you on campus to tailgate, right? Didn't they do that last year?
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So I mean, they can do that again.
Oh, well, absolutely, they can do it. But what I'm saying is, are they going to cancel tailgating? Because that's the next big decision that's supposed to be coming, and I believe that's supposed to be here on Friday.
The tailgating decision?
The tailgating decision. I mean, there has to be some type of protocol out there. I mean, there's going to have to be some type of guideline for people.
Students don't know yet.
Out there to follow. And judging by the first decision that was made here, I mean,
this is shocking news.
if you look,
Just
if
taking
you
a
look
second.
if you look at what the decision was on the entry to the game, I mean, what was your first reaction when you saw the protocols? What? Forget your politics, forget your feeling. Just give me your first reaction. I'll tell you mine. Just one word. Mine was shocked.
Fuck.
Safest play they could make.
I was not shocked.
Fuck. I was damn. There we go.
I'm getting more reaction from
Nothing
this
shocking me
tailgate
anymore.
news because that is what drives people to go to the games. Now
I've never seen that look on your face.
how do you like why would anybody want to come in if you're not going to be able to tailgate, mask mandate, get
Maybe
checked at the door? Like this is going to turn so many people off, and it's not going to make Tiger Stadium what it's supposed to be. It wouldn't feel like a
Watered
regular
down.
season. It would feel like last year a little bit.
My personal feelings on this, and I'll tell you, I'm not getting into the politics of it. Whether you are vaccinated or not, I believe that is your business, and how you handle that is up to you.
It's everyone's choice.
But from LSU's perspective, as the statement reads, this decision comes after consultation with support from Governor John Bel Edwards. To me, the press release could have just been a period right there, rather than a comma. Along with LSU President William Tate, Board of Supervisors, Tiger Athletic Foundation, and Director of Athletics Scott Woodward. Now, I know that Woodward's probably going to get the brunt of the backlash on this. And from his title and from the seat that he views LSU athletics as the director of it, he probably deserves a lot of that criticism. I will say this. I don't think Scott Woodward had a lot to do with this decision. Now, he had input, and he was in the room, but to me, this comes down from Louisiana's most powerful seat. This is a governor's decision, in my opinion. I don't have anything factual to back that up, but it feels as if, not that it's politically driven, but that it's state driven by the decision and by making this. Because if it was up to Scott Woodward, in my opinion, again, and all of this is speculation. I've got no sources. I've got no inside information. I'm just kind of looking at this statement, reading it, and reacting to what I'm seeing. I can't imagine that Scott Woodward would want to go through another football season of protocol and mandates after the amount of money that not only was sacrificed last season at LSU Athletics, but also the amount of money that was handed out. Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, paying Paul Maneri, paying Bo Pelini,
Craig soon.
James Craig on the books. All of the money that's just what we know about. right? On the surface. That's just some of the price tags that we have the knowledge of. I can't imagine from Scott Woodward's business approach here that he wants to mess with football season in any type of way just because of the financial gain they can see on the bottom line if you open up the gates and open up tailgate. So
but if it was just up to the governor, wouldn't this be mandated in every university or college in Louisiana?
that's why I'm when you say that Southern made the same decision.
Yeah, but I don't know who made that decision there. I don't know if they said.
Well, there's only one common denominator.
Yeah.
On that press release, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't see it,
I'm sure
yeah.
that you could probably replace the Tiger Athletic Foundation with the Jaguar Athletic Foundation and the president, William F. Tate, with whoever Southern's president. Yeah. I mean, you could, but there's only one common denominator on there. Mm-hmm. There's one common name, and that's Governor John Bell Edwards, and that, to me, is who this is coming from.
Are we surprised that LSU is the first SEC school to mandate this?
Very much so.
But
when you step back out and look at Louisiana from a political standpoint, and again, I'm not going into the depth of the politics here, but just at the political stance that Louisiana has been on this during this pandemic, it's really not surprising. Right? I mean, like, if you look at Georgia's protocols, Georgia's going full open facilities, no mandates, no protocols. You come to the game. Florida, I'd imagine, is going to be the same way, right?
No rules.
And 3 weeks ago, LSU said the same thing. They said we expect nothing in place in terms of its full clearance to go into the stadium, and that was 3 weeks ago. So the timetable has changed. Yeah, so
it has.
They're obviously being affected by how the numbers are changing, and I'd imagine you might see some other schools pull back before that first game.
And Louisiana and LSU is not privy to those numbers. They're not trying to make decisions based on those numbers or from their standpoint. Now, if they're consulting with the state or they have some type of higher power making that choice for them, then they're going to have to abide by that protocol. Again, this is just my feeling on it, and I'm not saying whether, whatever your choice is up to you, and that's always been my stance. To me, this is a individual decision on how you want to handle it, but now there's a lot of guidelines and protocols coming down from places that you like to interact with or places that you like to frequent and spend your entertainment dollar on that are giving you guidelines to be there and watch. I am very anxious to see what the tailgate protocol is going to be. I cannot imagine that they are going to pull the plug on this thing and cancel tailgate for a second consecutive season. I just don't think. First off, I think that you truly would have some type of real backlash in dealing with the fan base, like you would not like riots, but you would have some type of march down Victory Hill in front of the athletic administration to see if they couldn't flip this decision. I think that you would really cause a big reaction.
We'll stop paying your TAF fees.
Well, I think that's already happened.
Yeah,
season tickets.
Yeah, I think that financially they've probably started to see
trickle down effect.
Much of the impact. Yeah, the trickle down effect of what some of these decisions entail and
I would think
provide for LSU.
I would think that the tailgating would be almost a bigger deal than what
I agree with that.
Same.
What they're doing at the stadium, because people you have to imagine how many people come in that aren't from Baton Rouge that come here based their entire weekend around this event, setting up, going on campus. They start on Thursday.
Yeah.
So if you take that away, that's 80% of why they're coming. And half of those people don't even go to the game.
Right.
They just want to do the
home.
tailgate. They want to entertain people, have people in their tent, and then those people can go to the game. They don't care. They'll give their ticket away.
Right.
Like, that's their fun. And so I would imagine if you introduce some of that, you will see such a sparse attendance at Tiger Stadium. It would be nowhere near anything that was obviously when,
Did you go to any
when things
games
were
last
regular.
year?
No.
Oh, it was so bad.
I went to the Alabama game last year. It was so creepy.
It was a ghost. It was scary.
It was.
I didn't go to any games last
Me either.
season.
It was a morgue.
And I can tell you that I'm looking forward. First off, we're going to Los Angeles next weekend, which I'm very much looking forward to just going and getting that experience. And it seems like in talking to some people out in LA, and if you heard conversation with Ben Bolch from the LA Times yesterday. I mean, it kind of seems like California's a little looser than Baton Rouge right now. I mean, like, which is nuts. I mean, it's wild to kind of say out loud. But you really kind of get the feeling. I mean, I was touching base with a couple of friends. I'm staying with a friend of mine out there, and I'm like, are we good? Are we good? You know what I mean? I'd hate to jump this flight and get out there and then, like game day, then be like, you have to hang back and watch it in your living room. Because, I mean, I'd rather just do that in my house if that's going to be the case. He's like, no, bro, we're good. I don't think that there's anything coming down until like September 20th. So y'all can do it. Come on up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they're probably doing that so they can just blame everybody from Louisiana.
Exactly.
Look at the rise in the COVID numbers after the LSU game. It's like, yeah, we did do that. Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, right.
We'll be back never.
Yeah, right.
Smell you.
Yes.
I think the hardest part for me in that whole mandate is kids have to show proof of vaccination. I understand that Pfizer was FDA approved Monday, but technically that was for 16 and up, I think, in kids. And so it sucks. I mean, our kids aren't vaccinated, so it's kind of like, oh.
Here's the deal.
I mean, you can't go.
Here's the deal too. I think that you're gonna find that a lot of people are looking forward to going out to Tiger Stadium. I mean, as you talk to people are very much gearing up for a football season. Now, this was a needle to the balloon yesterday, but there's still people that are anxious to get out there. What I think you're going to find, and what I can already feel internally in how I'm going to approach it, is the first time it is an inconvenience. The first time it's just too much to deal with and being out there. I mean, then you're going to start losing people, in my opinion, for the long term.
They did it to baseball.
Like you were going, yes. They ran people off in baseball. They almost ran people off in basketball last season with the, with the way that the security guards, I guess that's what the marshals were enforcing the mask mandates in the stadium. I mean, it was it was almost not even worth going. And now I understand that there is protocols in place, but there's also ways of enforcing that into a fan base that is purchasing tickets to be there. I mean, it was almost as if it was the marshals versus the fans, right? Where it became a point where it's like, look,
I'm just drinking water.
Yeah, man, I'm paying to be here and just trying to watch and cheer on and support. But if it's just too much, I'll stay back. And if you start getting into that crowd, if you start prodding the crowd in football and getting a reaction where you start getting, demographics of people that just say, you know what?
I'll stay at home.
I just do it from my house. I mean, I'll do it from my house. And then the next year say, you know what? Watching from my house wasn't that bad of experience. And if I wanted to go to the Florida game, if I wanted to go to the Alabama game, if I wanted to go to the biggest game of the season, I've got a relationship, or I've got somebody that can get me a ticket, or I found a ticket on SeatGeek.com. You know what I mean?
Because
it's just,
you saved X amount of dollars on not buying season tickets.
Absolutely. I didn't pay my tradition fund. I didn't buy my parking pass. I didn't get my season ticket. So I saved $6,000. You know what I mean? So, I'll dish out $1,000 to go watch the Alabama game in a stadium club or a suite. Why not? It's the only game I'm going to this season. And you start pecking away at those supporters and those fans. And the next thing you know, Tiger Stadium looks like the Pete Maravich Assembly Center did for the last 15 years, where your fan base is nothing but a elderly home. You know what I mean? And that's no knock, but
it's what it is.
You kept a generation of fans, and you never were able to connect to the next generations that were coming up. And you had a good product, but your promotions and your attention to the promoting of the product slipped and fell, and nobody was really paying attention. And now I know that's hard to fathom with LSU football, but decisions like this and protocols set in place that we will see coming up this season, and also stepping back and thinking about, this feels like this is going to be a logistics nightmare.
Oh my God, it is.
I mean, a nightmare.
I mean, who you think everybody at the gate is going to be checking and be like, wait, is that a PCR test? Did you get a rapid test?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Or the
You can
vaccine
sneak
cards?
in
Like,
so easy.
you can show anything. Like, and plus, you could go get vaccinated today and then show your card, and it's not taking effect yet. So none of it really makes sense. But yeah, how are they going to really stop us all at the gate and sit there and check all your credentials?
Friend snuck in the Yankees games with fake vaccine cards.
Everybody's doing it everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're pushing that basically. I mean, people are going to find a way around it.
I would imagine it would be the
Absolutely,
like
it will
they're not
be.
going to be what's your name, date
Absolutely.
of birth. But with that said, when you talk about logistically, LSU has had a tough time figuring any of that stuff out. When you talk about trying to leave Tiger Stadium, contraflow,
Yeah.
they've never been able to get any of that stuff right, and that's no knock on them. I don't know how you do it either
I
because
know.
it's a bottleneck, it's a nightmare. But from what we've heard in New Orleans, where they did the same thing, and granted it was a preseason game, they said it was not bad at all to be able to go in, get checked, because they have the same mandate at the Caesars Superdome.
Yeah.
So where they check for your card or check for a test, and they said it wasn't slow at all.
Oh,
but this
wow.
was a preseason game, and it's probably half capacity, if
Yeah.
that. So Tiger Stadium, if it's 100,000 people, will be probably a bit of a fracas.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Here's the deal. You've got 2 chances to get this thing right before Auburn comes to town on October 2nd, right? You got McNeese here on September 11th, and you got Central Michigan in town on September 18th. Now, I'd imagine that the McNeese game is going to have a big turnout, just being because it's the first game. It's the first time that people have the opportunity to be out there after a year off, and, you know, depending on what they say on Friday on the tailgate mandates, which they better not screw that announcement up, man, because that to me is because you just want to captivate people, right? I mean, like, you know what you're going to get in the stands. If you sell the thing out and you put if you put an ass in every seat, you're going to have 102,000 people there. You know that. But if you open up at tailgating and you say there is, which I don't believe that there will be, that there's no protocols and there's no mandates on how you tailgate, then potentially, I mean, in some Saturdays, they've had 250, 300,000 people out there. 350,000 people out there. You know what I mean? But walking around your campus, going to your gift store, looking for tickets, trying to buy tickets on the secondary market, people that are just out there experiencing LSU. That is as big a promotion as having 102,000 out there during the pregame when the band walks out.
I would say that's LSU's greatest selling point.
It absolutely is. And that is what LSU sells and does better than anybody in the world. I mean, there is no tailgating experience. Yeah, I'm biased. Yeah, I'm from here, but I've been around and I've done sporting events where they tailgate and ain't nobody holding a candle to how people do it in South Louisiana. And it's not just specifically to LSU. You can go to a Cajun game. Well, you know how we do it, man. The smells, the sights, the sounds, all of that.
The atmosphere.
Everything. People. The people is what makes it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can try and replicate a tailgate everywhere you want, but you can't put the people of Louisiana at that spot.
But how is that different? So if they allow tailgating and you're out there with everybody vaxxed or non-vaxxed and you're breathing your COVID all over everybody that's vaxxed and sending them in the gate, I mean...
Yeah, bullshit on that. Who cares? I think you do this mask mandate and whatever, and you do the get your test so you can go back and say, but we can tailgate because you're here, and if you want to come into the stadium, you're proof that you're vaccinated or that you're COVID negative. So... all those people that don't want to don't want to do it, you can still come tailgate, but you ain't getting into the game.
Yeah.
But
to be fine
all the people that are vaccinated and have less chance of spreading the disease if they do the mask thing and everything like that, I think that makes sense to where, all right, if we have to make this concession to be able to tailgate, I think that would be, it's the lesser of two evils in my mind.
Yeah. Well, people in here are saying that you're going to have to use the LA Wallet app with a QR code. I didn't know about that. So
that would make it very expedited.
I mean, I was one of the ones saying you could bypass the test and with a card and everything, but I didn't know about the app.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat that, I
There's
guess.
going to be masks in the stadium. I guarantee it.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, I
The
think
campus is ridiculous.
that
already.
is... How is it enforcing
So
campus?
like when you go to the UREC every 10 minutes, it's like a North Korea ad. It's like, mask up. We have the right to kick you out if your mask is below your
like
nose.
over a loudspeaker or something?
Every 10 minutes.
Oh my
Really?
goodness.
At the library, they've hired security. Even if your mask is like right here, they'll kick you out.
William Foles 72 says Southern is doing a mask mandate. It's only a matter of time before LSU announces
I think
that.
there'll be a mask mandate, and that's fine. You just buy a Coke and put a bunch of whiskey in it and drink it.
Yeah.
That's what I think's gonna happen. People are gonna be absolutely hammered because if you're holding the drink the whole time, you don't have to have your mask up.
Right.
And so there's gonna be people getting just shit faced.
COVID repellent.
I mean, that's happened anyway, so I don't see that being a problem.
I mean, this LSU's first game on September 11th versus McNeese, in my opinion, potentially could be Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, St. Patrick's Day, everything rolled into one.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day. I missed that.
Are they making it up in October?
I don't know. I doubt it. They're canceling everything in October right now.
shot.
Every time they cancel things in the spring, they move it to the fall, and that's canceled. And then you move it to the spring, and that's canceled.
But I agree. If it goes forward and there was no, I don't think they can restrict tailgating. They can't take the hit like that again. You can't have that campus looking like a ghost town, and then you have the mandate of people that don't.
I don't think they're going to cancel tailgating, but they're going to have some type of restriction on it.
Like,
There's going to be
how?
What would the restriction be?
like you only have a certain amount of time. You have to have some type of proof of something, masked up. There's going to be some type of regulation in place. There's no way that you can regulate the stadium with the announcement that they made yesterday and not expect 200,000 people to dump onto campus and just say, all right, cool, we'll just sit outside. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
but then it's essentially, that's not my problem. Like our responsibility is the stadium. I would imagine that's how I would pitch it. If you want people to still come, you would say,
who, LSU's?
Yes.
No, it's
But people-
not. They're
I know
still
that.
liable for what's happening on their campus.
But liable for what? There's no
COVID spreading.
Yeah, it's their choice. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like you could get away with drawing the line of demarcation at the stadium. It's like, look, we tried our best to keep people that are vaccinated or like the people that have the least amount of chance to spread the virus. We kept them contained in the stadium. Whatever y'all want to do out there is up to y'all. You're on the streets.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, y'all go.
Jeez, bro. Can't you see just like a little task force walking around campus,
You'll get
Beat-
jumped. They'll
beating
get
a
jumped.
nightstick into their open hand, like, give me your papers.
It'll be like the purge, where everybody's just gonna turn.
Where's
on
your
It will be
wallet
like
at?
that.
They're
It
just-
will be like
There's
that.
gonna be a bunch of $8.50 security workers just in upturned.
They're
They're just gonna
Just
be
150,000 masked up people
Oh my God.
shooting potato guns at these fake cops walking around looking for vaccines.
Swinging jambalaya paddles at
I mean,
people.
just-
Yeah.
Shit faced.
Yeah.
Let
Come
me
and get me.
in. I mean, it is gonna be.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a scene.
It's gonna be
bro.
a scene.
They're
I
gonna be
can't
fights.
wait
I mean-
for September 11th. I really can't. I mean, I just want to go be like a bird, bro.
I
Just
know,
like a
right?
bird's eye view.
Just with a camera, just
yes,
watching.
we're
capturing
bringing a
all.
camera.
Yes,
And we're
the
getting on
content will be
bikes
amazing.
and we're just moving around campus. We need to find a golf cart.
We do need a golf
We
cart,
need
a Jordy
we need
Culotta
a
show
golf cart. We need a Jordy Culotta show
get
golf
that
cart.
thing
If you're out
credentialed.
there, Ascension Golf Cart, whoever
Yes.
you're out there, let's strike a deal. And we are going to create content gold on September 11th. I mean, it's gonna
non-stop.
be, it's gonna be
A
wild.
spectacle. Where's the kid with the cast that's always trying to fight at the parade
I
ground?
love that
Get that kid back out
Well, he
there.
ruined it. He ruined it.
But then if it turns sour, if they try to police tailgating with like rent-a-cops, I would imagine no insult to anybody that does that for profession.
No
like
insult,
get whatever
screw
job you can. But they're just going to be in like upturned porta potties. They're just going to locker them up. They're going to shove them into a porta potty, flip it over, and they're you
doubt.
push him away. And he's like, he's gone.
No
they're going to be
doubt.
locked up in fraternity
especially
houses.
if
They're
like
trying to
these,
bring back
like if
parade grounds.
these rent-a-cops are like rolling around on a golf cart, can you imagine if one of them like gets out of it and tries to enforce it, and some kid just hops in the golf cart?
Takes him
Let's
away.
run!
Marshawn Lynch.
I mean, it's gonna be amazing.
Wait, can we get a pass to have a golf cart on
Hell
campus?
no.
Yeah, they have golf carts on campus.
Yeah, that's all LSU related. Though.
Yeah,
Those
how
are
do
all
we?
LSU. You don't see
Are
media.
they?
You don't see
Um,
media members rolling around.
But I
out
mean,
there.
you can like in the outskirts, right?
Media who?
Media.
We're here as fans, bro. We're tailgaters. And I'm not scared to skim on the. We can float on the
Okay,
edge.
okay.
Yeah,
You know
we
what
can
I
do it
mean?
around the edge.
We can ride the perimeter.
I guess you're
You
right.
know
They
what I
do
mean?
have like tailgates that have.
They have golf carts.
Golf carts where they
Because
stroll
people come
around.
from like College Town and neighboring areas on their golf carts to campus. So yeah, we could do it.
That's the ultimate.
Roll
right there.
past one of those rent-a-cops, flip our mask up.
Yes. we need to put like a little sign siren.
Right?
We can go
Fly
tell
out
somebody.
of there. Daily, we are brought to you
Bunch
here
of segues. We're just
by
rolling
Johnson
around.
Spillers.
That's
John, a
what we-
segue would be great.
Can't catch us all, dude. Spread.
I mean,
scatter.
drunk segwaying is
A blast.
dangerous, bro.
Oh my
dangerous
god! I've never
fun.
been on a Segway.
Those
Dangerous
things have
fun.
some power.
Yes, they have power, dude.
And it's
you
all about your
And then you get to
balance.
leaning on them, dude. You get to leaning. You're like,
Have you ridden on one?
yes,
I've never had.
yes.
That would be
Yes.
Seconds
hilarious.
on
And I was
Fu
kind of like,
Manchu.
you know, like,
Because you panic.
yeah, you panic for sure. You panic. And there was like a marble floor underneath me. I was like, dude, I am dead. I gotta keep my balance. It was like I was over a volcano on a tight line.
Doing the crane challenge.
Daily, we're brought to you by Johnson Spillers. They are our dentists. Let them be yours. Get over and see Dr. Johnson and Dr. Spillers. Papera Avenue in Gonzales and over here in Baton Rouge on Perkins Road. Everything from general dentistry, everything that you may need there. If you need a teeth cleaning, then get
Fall
over.
off a Segway.
Fall off a Segway.
Bust your teeth out.
Bang your teeth into a parking curb, whatever it may be. Get over there and
into a fight
get
at the
to
tailgate.
Johnson Spillers.
Cast
Yeah,
kid.
absolutely, man.
Chad, you're getting a lot of business this football
Botox,
season.
Botox. If
You
you're
wanna look right?
if you're getting ready for that first game,
That's part of my ladies football giveaway coming
that
up.
this part of
This
your
part.
yeah right. Get it right
I
from
don't think
Botox.
you don't get Botox right there.
Okay,
Where do you get? No,
I
it's
get it
all up
right here.
really?
I mean, I don't think you get it right here.
I don't know.
Under
Who's
your
that
eye.
woman in
That
White Lotus?
hurt.
The bigger one, that Stifler's mom.
Oh yeah, Stifler's
I feel
mom.
like she got it like everywhere.
Nothing
She
moves.
just
Where was she? I just saw Stifler's mom in a new movie. Where?
White Lotus.
White
White
Lotus.
Lotus.
That's
Did
what
you
she
start
said.
watching it?
Lotus. I
I
started
think-
watching three. I'm 3 in.
The fourth is where it all goes
Really?
down.
It's
Yeah.
that good?
Really?
Yeah,
It's
keep
that
going.
good.
Keep
It's-
going.
Wow.
It's
No,
really-
no, I'm pushing through.
Yeah,
I'm pushing
Keep
through.
going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
White
Because it is a
Lotus.
little slow. It's kind of fun, but then
Yeah.
it really takes a turn, and it's just like, all right, I'm in.
Sweet. I'm in right now though.
Yeah.
No, I'm in. Did you watch Hard Knocks last night?
I did, dude. That drone flight. Did you watch it?
Yes.
That was
That's the
unbelievable.
coolest. That's the coolest drone footage I've ever seen.
Ever seen, and drones were kind of gone.
Yeah.
That's what I was, they had had their time in the sun, and then they bring this thing back, and I was on a different planet, but I was watching, it's like, I rewound it twice, I was like, this is unbelievable. The pressure on that guy.
Unreal.
To capture it
Well,
in
then
one
if you
take.
watch the entire
At the end.
at the end, they did have some. They did have some.
Oh
follies.
yeah, there's no way dude, if he
One
would be
take?
a legend.
One take?
If he one take that thing, so
I think the most impressive, the most impressive part about the drone footage was just like it was very much it was a skit, right? I mean, like he told everybody that the drone was flying through, like, just keep it real, man. Do not look at that drone. Do not look as if you see that drone coming at you, because I mean, there was like when they went through the locker room and old boy was like dumping the towels and the dirty clothes into the hamper. I mean, that thing buzzed the tower, bro.
100%.
I mean, it's like right there.
But how cool was the audio that they used when he went through the truck, and you get like Dallas, Texas sports radio,
Yes.
like blaring through there when he goes through the truck,
Goes
and
through the
then
truck,
The
and
guy
then-
opens the door and he's walking out. The drain comes in,
And then
yes.
the host is doing the stand up right there. Then they take you. I thought that they were in the stadium.
Me too, because whenever they did that drive by, I was like, I don't remember seeing any of this of Jerry's World. Like, where was I?
I know.
I've
I
been
was
there
thinking the
3
same
times.
thing. Yeah, I was
like,
thinking. I don't remember seeing this.
I was like, how big is this place? And it's a whole just new. It's just mini Jerry's World.
Yes. I mean, that's actually Jerry's World.
Yes.
Right there. I mean, the stadium is mini Jerry World.
It was-
I mean, he jumps on a chopper and leaves that place to get to Jerry World.
How funny was that when
Yeah.
they can't even get their flights right?
Yeah,
He's
it's
like, we're gonna turn
that's
around.
a good way to fuck up the day
Yeah,
from the
good.
start, huh?
What's the point of starting Dave? Just gonna fuck it all up.
That's so
Wait,
funny.
somebody in the bunker, speaking of your F-bombs, wrote, man, I love this show and love streaming in the car with my kids. With my
Ah,
kids. The
kid
F-bombs,
show.
though,
sorry,
geez.
sorry,
Boy.
sorry. Is that
I
Jesse
already
McCormick?
apologized. No, go 2014. I'm not sure
Sorry,
who that is,
because
but sorry,
Je-
go 2014.
Jesse McCormick told me, he was like, bro, I love the show. He's like, but I mean, I'm streaming in Lloyd's mouth. I was like, I'll put it all on you.
How about
Put
a
it
friend
on-
tell me that
we,
too?
You know what? I think we need a
Beep.
we kind of like we need a no cuss zone. Like we need a part of this show,
Like a family-friendly
kid's
zone.
version.
kind of like the
Spanish
7 o'clock
trains.
hour. Like probably like the 7 o'clock hour.
Okay.
And
That's
and there's
the most
certain
fun hour.
well, there's certain cuss words that are just off limits, right?
Well, say them.
Well, not
Say
right now. I'll say them at 8:45.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. So we'll see. I mean, grow up. They're gonna hear it. You don't cuss at your house.
Probably not. I mean, I
Oh,
don't say
you don't
F-bombs in
take-
front of my kids.
They don't have
Okay,
cable.
put that
That's
kid
true.
on a flight and
True.
see if he
Well,
starts
we
acting up.
wanna
what
keep
you
it
say.
family friendly
We
here.
do.
We
Well,
wanna keep it family
friendly.
PG-13 ish. NC-17.
Brian Trudeau says that Scott Woodward is on a local radio show here in South Louisiana and said that there are no restrictions on tailgating.
Let's go, Scott. Let's go, Scott. See, he that's why you got a Baton Rouge guy in there.
Yeah.
He knows the importance of what tailgating brings to this because, like I said, those RVs come rolling in about Thursday, 3 o'clock, and it is.
Oh, it's the best.
It's on.
No,
5 o'clock, tailgate set up.
I mean,
Tailgate's
Right when you can.
They don't sleep.
Fridays in this town during a big game week is unmatched.
It's the reason I
It
haven't
is
left.
unmatched. It is what will draw you back. I mean, like when I did not live in Baton Rouge, when I was away, I've never been away from Baton Rouge during the football season, but just extended amount of time away from Baton Rouge. That is one of the first feelings that you're like, golly, I miss home. I miss Fridays of a big game week where everybody who says they are working is out at the tailgates already starting to eat up the sunshine, eat up the blue skies, eat up the good music, the good food,
Just eating beers.
everything,
Tents and
and
lights.
you're on campus. It's as good
A feeling.
of a feeling as you can find. And if they start messing with that,
You will
if they
lose.
start just even tinkering with that, you don't even have to really like sway it and like totally move it to get people's reaction. If you just kind of tweak it a little bit, they are going to freak out. So that is great news to first and foremost that Woody has announced that up to this point there are no restrictions on tailgate. We'll talk to Cody Worsham at 8:15. We'll press him for more information on that.
I mean, is there any better feeling than walking down Victory Hill on
No.
your way to the stadium when it is just throngs of purple and gold and you see every head when you're at the top and the players are walking down? You're just like, this place is unbelievable
And
right
the
now.
Saturdays are great, Lloyd. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. The Saturdays are fantastic, but to me, it's like
You like the calm
third-
before the
the
storm?
Thursday afternoons, the all-day Fridays, the 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday feel where you're really starting to feel it boil.
It's Christmas Eve.
It is very much Christmas Eve. And I'm talking big games. I'm not talking the Central
Yeah.
Michigan week around
Right,
here. I'm
right.
talking about the Florida week, the
Bama.
Alabama week,
Auburn.
the Auburn week, when everybody's playing for something.
Good times.
Nothing better than you're on the back of a pickup truck. Everyone's tailgating.
Is there
Going through campus.
no parade ground tailgating?
What? We're going to hear Friday. They make their decision.
They'll probably not.
All
let-
because of Cast Kid.
They
They're
probably
saying
won't
that
let y'all do
that
it.
Woodward is saying no restrictions on tailgating.
It's either
But
that or
that's-
frat
that's-
houses.
so-
That's different for like fraternities though. They have their own
Oh yeah.
like set
Gives
of
them so
rules.
much trouble.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys.
We always stayed
They
in the
will.
house. Come
I
on.
know. I don't know how you know. Not anymore.
They don't get to do that anymore?
Why?
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Kappa Sig, we were always allowed to let the ladies in the house.
People would go
and
upstairs.
so the AC was in there, it was popping.
Yeah.
But then everybody would set up on the parade ground, and that was where the fights happened. So we're like, oh, come
Yeah.
skedaddle in here. But if you can't do either, then where do you go? Y'all are just going to be...
They're so the thing what they've been doing since the kid Max Groover died a couple of years ago is every tailgate would be like from U High to like the lakes on Sorority Row, and then we're arguing. It's like if you put us all in one spot,
gonna
you can
get worse.
control it better. When we're all spread out, there's so many brawls. Like you guys can't control it. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually the most unsafe way to do it.
Keep them on the parade ground.
Keep it centralized.
In the parade grounds mandated now? And like there no more? Is there no more?
No more
Greek?
frats. Yeah,
Yeah,
frats
yeah,
can't
that's
go.
what we were just saying.
Um,
But you can do alumni tailgating there.
Yeah. Any
That's what we do.
every organization can except Greek Life. Greek Life is banned on the parade grounds.
Yeah.
Best tailgating spot is, in my opinion, up the hill on the back side of the PMAC. On the,
Okay, yes.
like walking out of the gymnastics
Oh yeah,
and walk up that hill.
Absolutely.
If like all kind of tucked up in there,
Oh
By the
yeah.
Pentagon.
throwdowns.
It is.
Like it goes down.
Near
Right
the-
there. And not to say like there are good tailgates all over the place. There's a good one on the backside of the track and field, like in the grass area of the track and field stadium. BZ Sotil and that crew throw a great tailgate. Even on like kind of the
in the Indian Mound
Yeah,
area.
you're talking
the
Well,
Indian
that's
Mound
Indian
area
Mounds,
is
right?
good.
That's what
Kind of like if you walk from the Indian Mounds, like if you walk from the Indian Mounds and just kind of go a little right down that hill, right there where there's that old. Is it the
Huey
Long?
Long?
Is that
Yeah.
Huey Long?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Long Field House?
Huey
Yeah,
Long,
that's
yeah.
where
Yes.
the pool is.
In the pool.
Not
in the
anymore.
pool.
Oh yeah.
Not
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they're redoing it.
No pool though.
What?
What's it
Yeah.
gonna be?
The garden.
Oh.
What? They're not redoing the pool?
No. No.
Are you kidding?
A garden.
A garden.
How's that feel?
You sound so disgusted.
Well, it's the opposite of a
garden.
Yes.
pool. What are we gonna go? Dude, we're gonna
What kind of garden?
What are we gonna
What do you
crimp some
mean a
roses?
Like a
garden? What are we
flower
gonna do?
garden or like
Go
a
hang out at
veggie
the garden?
garden?
Let's go to the pool, man.
They want you to go to the UREC instead.
Is that what? That's where they're growing all the pot on LSU's campus.
The
is at the
garden.
Huey P. Longhouse?
so.
That would be.
Is that the grow house?
What was that?
I always kind of thought the grow house is back there in the green.
No, the grow
No, I'm
house.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying
Sorry.
if that's what you did, if you would have taken
Figure
my
if you were
pool
serious
away,
about anything, it would be drugs. man.
what kind of drugs are you testing?
That's right. Daily, we're brought to you by Falaya. Online at Falaya.com. Get in touch with Barrett Blondo and the crew over there at Falaya. They are changing the way that real estate is bought and sold over here in Louisiana. It is selling your house by yourself. You can save thousands. Do it yourself for selling your home. Welcome to Empowered Real Estate. You get exposure on MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the major sites. You get virtual tours, push-button offers, document automation with e-sign capabilities, all from Falaya. Our friend Barrett Blondo is the brains behind Falaya. Get in touch with him this morning at 225-939-6153, 225-939-6153, and to get in touch with Falaya. If you're looking to sell your house this fall, thinking about trying for sale by owner, then you need to check out Falaya's listing plans. They start at $399. You can save thousands with Falaya. If you want more information, visit them online at Falaya.com or download the app today. Download the Falaya app inside of your Google Play or your Apple App Store and get in touch with Falaya. Tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We do have your mailbag questions that we are going to answer here at 8 o'clock. So if you have any questions, make sure that you get them inside of the bunker. You can direct message them. You can always email anybody at the show is their name at Jordy Culotta Show. So Jordy at Jordy Culotta Show, Katie at Jordy Culotta Show, Lloyd at Jordy Culotta Show, Jack.
I use my other burner.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Jack's never checking that email.
I have 2 emails. I have school and my burner.
That's
How
a
many
lot.
emails do you have in your account right now? Do you know?
At one point I had in my burner.
Yeah.
Too many. But I had my Tiger TV, I had this, I had my school, I had another email.
Because I got 403 for the Culotta Show one, and I need
403.
I got
Lloyd,
LSU
that makes me
alerts
panic.
set
that
up.
does.
I don't like
It
that.
gives me the sweats.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's rude.
That makes me panic.
I check them, I just don't click
He
them.
does a jack
Okay.
him.
I'm just trying to make sure I get the news on time. These are all LSU basketball updates, LSU football updates, you know. I don't want to miss anything.
Get your mailbag questions in. 8:15, we're going to talk to Cody Worsham. 8:30, we're talking New Orleans Saints with Nick Underhill. And at 8:45, we're going to talk to Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois and get all of your food questions answered. Give me a minute here to reset, as we've been 53 minutes barking into this microphone. Give me a couple of minutes to reset, and we'll be back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Let's tailgate.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Flow IV and Spa, 7970 Jefferson Highway is where you can find them, or you can simply go online to goflowiv.com. Go Flow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration with vitamin infusion. At Go Flow IV Spa, they can help you with a wide range of issues, from skin care to illness recovery, athletic performance, hangover cure, chronic illness, and even chronic dehydration. GoFlowIV.com or stop in and see them, 7970 Jefferson Highway. Hebert's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73 or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, hebertsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Hebert's combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. hebertsmarkets.com. Welcome back here to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Get your mail questions in.
That'll go for great.
Get your questions in. Any way that you can interact with us, whether that's inside the bunker. Anybody monitoring Facebook comments? Are we up on Facebook?
We're up on Facebook. We are.
Sure?
We are.
Are you
Yes,
sure?
yes. I got here early and redid everything. Wrestled.
However you can interact with us, do that. We appreciate that very much. George the Greek, will Culotta and Moscona be doing a post-game show this year? We will not. We will not be.
What do you think, George the Greek?
Big Tiger Droppings guy, George the Greek.
You think
Is
he's
he?
Greek?
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, he's been on there since I've been on there. We're probably the same age.
It is a bummer, because looking back on it, Moscona and I were talking about it. We should have fired up Whiskey and Wine from our own personal social media pages. Looking back on it, that was a little bit of a mistake. But it's
Yeah. My bad. That's on me.
Don't look back,
That's
Jordy.
on us.
Don't
That's
look
on
back.
us.
Nothing will ever change, right?
So now that is separate, being that he works for a big corporation,
Soup.
and we're over here in independent land.
I like independent land.
We do too. Yes.
Do you like independent
A lot
land?
cooler over here for sure.
I'm getting, the
but-
language barrier.
George the Greek.
That did bust up the Whiskey and Wine post-game show. We're still going to do it. We'll have a presence there. Rohan Davey is going to be with us when he can be. His son Micah Davey, as you know, is playing football for McNeese and Coach Frank Wilson down at with the Cowboys in Lake Charles. So obviously Ro is going to, first things first, on Saturdays will be kind of tied to McNeese's schedule, at least their home schedule. And when it can happen, he will be here with us. And then when he can't be, we will have we'll have a cast of characters. We've also got set up here where it is we'll be able to take calls and give you a phone number and take your interaction in a post-game show, which could go really, really good.
Uncensored.
And it could also cause for bad entertainment. And when we
Like
feel
if
it,
Howard Stern dabbled in
we'll
sports.
dump out of it. Yes. It'll be interesting.
Let's get Beetlejuice.
But we will be there. I'm not sure how next weekend is going to work for the first game. Just because, I mean, I'll start to kind of tell. I'm going with the family. I'm taking little Jay. We're going to be in California. There's still an outside small chance that Lloyd may go if we do decide something that we may bring in a post game or at least even a content.
I mean, don't twist my arm. I mean, I can make it happen.
I know I'm not going to have to, bro.
No, I'm saying I would love to go. If we're going to do something, that would be
I know.
neat.
Well, we're still talking it out.
That's what I'm
Still talking it
saying.
out.
If that's the hang up, I'll bite that bullet.
How the first weekend is going to look, just because we're going to be in Los Angeles. We're going to the game as ticketed patrons. So, I mean, we're not media, we're not covering the game. I'm not planning on leaving there early to get somewhere to do a post-game show. I'm going to be with Kelly and my son, and I want to just sit there and watch I want to take in the experience.
You're not committing.
I'm not committing.
I don't blame you when
Bottom
you lay
line,
it out exactly
not
like
committing.
that. Like,
Yes.
this is going to be...
Well, I don't...
I'll burden myself. Like, this is a vacation. This
Yeah.
is a bucket list. I
But
want to enjoy it.
I can promise you that for the next 11 games on the schedule, I'm going to do that.
Committed.
Right? Like, I mean, I'll leave the Auburn game in the second half to get to our studio, wherever the studio may be, if we have one for a post-game show.
What? We can have a studio still?
No, I mean, if I've got to come here, if we got to go, if somebody buys whiskey and wine and wants it done at their place, wherever we're going to do it.
Oh, that would be a good idea to do.
Yes,
it
and we got a
bars.
couple of calls. Got a
Okay.
couple of calls
That
that are
would
out
be
there
great.
and moving. Out there and moving.
That would be great.
But again, if we set up and do that publicly, we've got to be able to bring that entertainment through that is listenable. You know what I mean? And watchable. We got to make sure that all that stuff. That is one thing in being the independent contractor that you got to take care of. Just all the logistics, and we're in the process of doing that. So to answer your question, very long-winded, George the Greek.
It's not like me talking about my childhood.
Yes, we will not. Moscona and I will not be together on the post game, even though we know that there is a demand for it, and we love the space. But I imagine that he'll be there too, and we'll be there as well, given our reaction to LSU post game.
All right. You ready for another question?
Yep.
My friends and I are going to the LSU versus Auburn game. Unfortunately, one of my friends is a Bammer. He
Yes.
thinks it's okay to wear Bama gear to the game. Do you think it welcomes unwanted hostility?
Probably so, but you can probably duck out at an LSU Auburn game. You know what I mean? You could probably.
Unless you like a finger in your booty hole.
LAU fan.
What?
Have you ever seen that?
What movie is this
No,
from?
it's
This is
Movie.
real life, dude.
It's real life.
Wait, what? What?
At an LSU Alabama game in Baton Rouge, and some Bama fan goes just
You've never seen
T-town,
No.
backwoods,
It's full gump.
just
Hold on.
full gump.
On who? It's an Alabama person on an LSU person
Yes.
saying that they want to put their finger in his booty hole?
What is that? What?
Oh my god! No, I haven't seen that.
No,
Is that so good?
It's so good.
Just
Doesn't
move
that guy look like the Quinn? I mean, is that if Hollywood casting was casting a movie and said, "Give me an Alabama fan," I mean, like when you do like, "Give that asshole that thought somebody stuck a finger up his ass in Baton Rouge."
You'll be played by Riff Raff in 2010.
You could send aliens one video. It'd be that.
This is the America. This is why they haven't touched down yet.
West Shin, there is a music cut up to that.
No
There's a
way.
music video to that. Like, I mean,
Oh
it is,
my gosh.
it's classic.
Viral. I understand. I still wonder when is going to be the day that y'all aren't surprised when I haven't seen something that's like LSU sports related.
No, I wasn't surprised by that.
A lot of people still seem to be consistently.
But no, I think that you could probably hide a little bit. You could probably hide out in your Bama gear amongst LSU and Auburn faithful. You know what I mean? I mean, there'll be a small percentage that see you and probably mess with you a little bit. It all depends on your attitude.
That's what I would say.
It does show that you are a little, you know what I mean? You kind of want a little smoke. If you got the gear
want
on,
smoke wearing that.
you know what it's going to do. You know what it's going to do.
But why wear another team?
You can also, you know, kind of cut that down when somebody comes up to you and tries to mess with you, and especially if you're a Bama fan. I mean, the Bama fan can just drop nuts whenever they want, man. I mean, they can just put it on the table.
They have a list ready.
Right. I didn't hear you. All the diamonds got in the way.
Exactly. Johnny Manziel. They have too much rings in my ear. But yeah, I think it's all about your attitude. If you go there and you can wear whatever you want, but if you're like, if you don't even wear the colors, but you're just an asshole about it,
sure.
Then it doesn't matter what you
we're
wear.
gonna kick that guy's ass.
Yeah, I don't
Why
like
wear
you.
another school?
Well, if it's your school
to a game,
it would be
though.
you wearing Mississippi State colors.
I don't wear Mississippi State stuff to an LSU versus someone else game.
I know,
That's
but I mean, there's a
weird.
lot of people out there that would take a lot of pride in showing up to a Baton Rouge tailgate for an Auburn LSU game wearing Bama gear.
I guess.
I mean, that is, to me, that's almost the definition of an Alabama fan.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, then
Like,
the Alabama fan be like, I'm kind of rooting for you guys.
Yeah,
I want you
right,
to win. It's like,
yeah.
we don't want you to go get.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't want you. I don't need your support.
absolutely. No,
I've always worn neutral
pat on the head.
colors.
Yeah, y'all go get them today.
Right. I'm just here to support, man.
Gus Malzahn's tricky in the fourth.
I heard y'all do tailgating really good.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Someone asked if there's a UDL tailgate.
I think that the UDL tailgate is going to be your tailgate. We're going to get out to Tiger Stadium and we're going to bounce around with a camera and go see everybody. We're going to have gear. We're going to have cameras. We're going to have microphones.
Yes.
Do a little pregame show.
I'm
We're
here
looking
for
for a
that.
golf cart.
Please golf.
Yeah,
cart.
somebody tell us the rules on that. Like, A, can you get us a golf cart? B, where can we drive the golf cart on campus?
I think we
need to
use
know.
the golf cart. I'm vaccinated.
Wait, what?
It'll work. They don't mind. They don't mind.
Maybe if we just put a mask
Let's go, man.
on and we duct tape our Vax cards
Yeah.
to the
Front of the
front
cart.
windshield
Nothing to
of the
see,
carts.
boys. Nothing
I mean,
to
we could
see.
probably drive that thing on the 50.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we're here to call the
Yes.
plays.
Throw on a purple polo with the LSU logo, button that thing
Absolutely.
up. You'll get
Vaccinated.
much farther than you think.
Hey, Armani Goodwin, you're getting the start today.
Any questions?
Right. I got this, Coach O. We're good.
First play going on 2.
Go take the cart around the tailgates, Coach. Take a couple of pictures while we get the boys ready to play.
Why don't you pop that shirt off? The kids love it. Fans love it.
Yeah, right. Go set your jaw, man.
Yeah, do it out there.
Victory Hill.
We're going to talk to Cody Worsham here at 8:15 this morning. Remember, daily we're brought to you by Go Flow IV and Spa. You can find them on Jefferson Highway. Get over and check out Go Flow IV and Spa Health and Wellness Center, located at 7970 Jefferson Highway. Go Flow IV Spa is a medical spa that specializes in IV hydration, vitamin infusion. They are Baton Rouge's premier IV spa and welcome the community that they serve. You can find them in Jefferson Highway, online at goflowiv.com. I would check out the memberships. They offer 3-month, 6-month, and annual packages over at GoFlow, where you can walk in at any time. Great perks for the members. Baton Rouge's premier medical spa specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. Online at goflowiv.com. GoFlowIV.com. Any more questions?
They've donated a treatment for my ladies football giveaway.
That
Maybe you should enter.
That thing is nice.
Not a lady.
It's gonna be a good
When
one.
is
No,
when
you
is
can enter.
I
You
bet
don't have
it's
to be a
nice.
lady. You can give it to your lady.
when is the
Can I
when's the
pick and
drawing?
choose?
It's gonna be up Friday, and then I'll probably do the drawing sometime next week. It'll end sometime next week.
Nice.
Give everybody time to like, follow, tag,
Share.
whatnot.
Cody Worsham coming up here in a couple of minutes. 7 LSU Tigers named to the preseason All-SEC squad, led, of course, by junior cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. and junior place kicker Cade York. Those are the only 2 Tigers that saw their name called on the first team. Kayshon Boutte left off of the first team is really funny to me. I think that Kayshon could be the premier wide receiver in the league before it's all said and done. Now somebody's going to have to step up and take some pressure off of him to really take defensive pressure off of Kayshon, because somebody's going to have to be a second threat. But I do believe with the talent that they've got on campus, especially in that freshman group, that somebody is going to emerge at some point as being a real threat that defenses are going to have to pay attention to, where you can't just throw all of your coverage at number one. But Kayshawn, I expect to have a great sophomore wide receiver or sophomore campaign. He's on the second team along with Ed Ingram. Senior defensive end Ali Gay is there. Eli Ricks is on the second team as well, while graduate offensive tackle Austin Deculus was voted to the third team selection. So 7 Tigers earn all SEC honors. Any surprises there? Anybody left off? Anybody snubbed?
No, I was just wondering, do you know how they do the voting? Do they base it off your previous year or what you're going to do in the next year? Like if it's off potential? Because Derek Stingley Jr., I would say, didn't have an All-American type year, but he's definitely an All-American.
I
wonder how much they weigh. Yeah, because I would say the same thing for Butte. Like you saw what he was doing at the end of the year, but you didn't see it constantly enough to be first-team All-American. Sure. Is what they're thinking. I just don't know how the voting process works.
This is all SEC.
All SEC.
This is all league. And really from...
Same question.
Jaquelin Roy could hit it.
Yeah, Jaquelin Roy could be there. B.J. Ojulari could be there. An outsider like Mike Jones, if he gets it, could be there.
Damone Clark, back.
Maybe. But maybe Jay Ward at a safety position, kind of playing a new position. Everything that we've heard from him, and if he steps in and embraces that role and is a player back there, maybe he's somebody that potentially could be, a postseason All-SEC type player. I would say this on Kayshawn. I would look at his last 5 games, and it would give me the confidence to vote him as one of the top wide receivers in the league just by the way that he finished the season. I mean, what he did in the last 5 games is very, extremely impressive. And I think more impressive because of the instability at the quarterback position for LSU during that stretch. You know what I mean? I mean, he was doing it with no matter who was calling the plays, no matter who was pulling the trigger. So I just expect Kayshawn to have a really big season, and I hope somebody around him can step up and take some pressure off of him in being a threat as far as just another option, which I don't think to be a big issue because LSU's so talented. I mean, they're so good. I would think that John Trey Kirkland, Jeray Jenkins, Trey Palmer, one of these veterans could bridge the gap to where, one of these freshmen like Malik Neighbors and Chris Hilton, Deion Smith, Brian Thomas catch on. I mean, one of those guys, before they catch on and really become a every Saturday threat, you're good enough at the, experience side of it to get there.
This time next year, do you think it's more than 7 or less than 7 for LSU on the same list?
More.
Probably more. Yeah, probably more. I mean, I think
get a running back.
You would think that probably Max Johnson could make an emerge here. I mean, Max Johnson could break out. Maybe it's somebody like an Armani Goodwin or John Emery. If Emery was to come back after something that he accomplishes this season, you think about Jaquelin Roy and some of those young
Mason Smith,
pass rushers. Mason Smith, B.J. Ojulari, Eli Ricks for sure. Sage Ryan could be a possible guy that you look at. It seems like he's going to play a lot of football this year. So I mean, right around there. I would think that 7's a nice number.
I was about to say, who led? I mean, how many did
Bama have? Or A&M.
I think that you would probably look at the more competitive edge for those groups on how many they had on the first team, right? I mean, how many names
Bama's pure freshman
are on the first team. But see, like
A&M has 9 spots.
Wow, they're high on A&M, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
they really
high.
Are.
Wow.
What am I missing?
Alabama has 15.
15?
They
how
lead
how many on the first team?
I don't know.
7 first-teamers.
7 first-teamers.
Whoa. For Bama?
For Bama.
South Carolina has 4.
How many first-teamers for Texas A&M?
I don't know. Let me get to that. Talk amongst yourselves.
Who's their quarterback?
I'm doing the same thing.
Are you counting the team over there?
No, they just had listed I had 15 because it was already listed on their website. But the other ones I'll have to go through and text the name. 1, 2, 3. 3.
I think just 3 on the first team.
So they're littered with a bunch of people.
Here it is. I got it right
2
here.
2 on the second.
First team preseason All-SEC squad. Offense, Matt Corral, quarterback. I got no problem with that. Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M is the running back. Tank Bigsby from Auburn. John Mechie from Alabama is the wide receiver, along with Traylon Banks. I got no problem with both those guys. Kayshawn's coming for a spot, though. Jalen Windermeyer from Texas A&M is the tight end. Evan Neal from Alabama, offensive lineman. Darian Kennard from Kentucky. Kenyon Green, who's probably the best offensive lineman in the league at Texas A&M. Cade Mays at Tennessee is an offensive lineman. Jarian Ely is the all-purpose player from Ole Miss. Yeah, I mean, no problem with that, man. All right, let's talk to Cody Worsham from LSU Sports. He's coming up here next. We'll talk to him about some of the announcements. We'll also talk to him about some of the position battles. Lots that we can touch on with Worsham here next on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
I didn't even really realize my face looked like that.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show.
Beat me.
Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Check them out online, Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. Ed Ogeron radio show debuts tonight over at TJ Ribs. That'll be a call-in show from 7 to 8 o'clock. If you want to stop in and check them out over there at TJ Ribs.
Do they still do in-person questions?
I think so. Evil Twins?
The Evil Twins. That's the first person I thought of.
Sure.
What's Evil Twins?
Just a LSU fanatics.
Oh.
Fanatics.
They write little poems. Read them to Coach O. It's just an experience.
It is.
You just have to kind of watch it once.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of times. Cody Worsham, who is a strategic communications and digital media director over with LSU. Sounds super official, man.
It is so official.
And he is on
wow.
Twitter at Cody Worsham. Is joining us now. LSU made the announcement yesterday on the protocol for LSU football games. Scott Woodward was on a local radio show here this morning talking a little bit more about that. Also was asked about tailgate restrictions and some of the feedback that we're seeing on social media and throughout our chat app is saying that no tailgate restrictions up to this point. Worsham joins us now. Cody, if you had to describe the Evil Twins, how would you paint them?
I mean, I think poets is probably the first word that would come to mind. Poets and the poet laureates of LSU football, which is a title that I've aspired for. Instead, they gave me crisis and strategic communications, which is not as aesthetically pleasing.
Hopefully, that's on an eggshell card, for God's sakes. Cody Worsham joining us here. All right, what has been the last 24 hours? What has it been like? Last 12 hours? It hadn't even been 24 hours since the announcement has been made from your office, from the LSU athletic director's office, on what the protocols will look like.
Yeah, it's been busy. First, I have to give a lot of credit, and I can't give enough credit to our ticket office, who's, we're on the announcement side and the publicity side, and I get to come on and talk radio, but they're on the phones all day. To me, they're the hardest working ticket office in the country. That we just reached 70,000 season tickets last week, and to reach that number coming off of COVID is really special. And then yesterday, they're the point of contact for the fan. But they're taking every call and they're responding to every email and working really hard. So they're the ones that are putting in the work, really, really hard behind the scenes. For the rest of us, we've been at this for a little while now. We've been working on this for a couple weeks, and Dan Gaston, in charge of our facilities here, is really taking point on this, and obviously Scott and the president, and it's just work. We're trying to communicate to as many people as we can, so they know what to expect when they get to the stadium, and so that they know that we're excited about the season ahead, and get as many people in that stadium as we can this year.
How has the details of logistics been discussed? How I understand the plan. How about enforcing it?
Yeah, I go to what Governor Edwards has said this whole time. You can't enforce your way out of a pandemic. We're not going to be able to. It's just not logistically possible to enforce 100% of every rule ever, regardless of what the policy is. I mean, this goes back to bag checks and when it started in 9/11 or you're going to do your best to enforce everything, but, it's not going to be 100% perfect. So that's where the trust in the fan comes in. And, we trust our fans to do the right thing and to want to make this as safe and exciting an atmosphere as possible, especially after last year when you don't get the 100%, and you've got to reduce capacity, and it's just not the same. I mean, we made the most of it. We all did. That's what we do in Louisiana. We make the most of it, and we're resilient, but it wasn't the same. These measures, we're hoping, people will comply with them so that we can have that normal atmosphere, that we can pack the stands and not worry about being a super spreader. The analogy that Scott has used a lot when we've had these conversations behind the scenes is looking at Lollapalooza. They packed 300,000 people there and had similar protocols and ended up not being a super spreader. And so that's our goal. We want to get as many people as we can into Tiger Stadium for every home game this year. What's that, 7-8 Saturdays this year in Tiger Stadium, and maximize that and make sure that we keep our community safe, our fans safe, our student athletes safe.
I know that Scott was asked about it, but just from your point of view on the tailgating aspect, anything that will be announced, or is there a plan to move forward under no protocols there?
Yeah, the policy we announced yesterday was strictly for entrance into Tiger Stadium. So it doesn't apply to tailgating. Tailgating is good to go back to normal, 100%. Now we're going to encourage people to do their part as far as keeping social distance, being safe, being responsible. If you're feeling sick, stay home, that kind of thing. But right now, there's no outdoor restrictions in Louisiana, and as we know, you're much safer dealing with this virus when you're outdoors. So we expect tailgating to be back to normal. We hope people come out and enjoy the game day atmosphere. And then we're going to be doing some work during tailgating to, one of the biggest concerns of this logistically is, log jams at the gate.
Yeah.
So we're going to be out. We're going to have some golf carts going around pre-screening people. You show whatever you would show at the gate, whether it's your proof of vaccination or negative test. If you show that while they're on golf carts, you'll get a wristband. You'll be able to go in the stadium. You won't have to get screened at the gate, so you'll be able to go through a little bit faster. I think we'll have a few stations around Tiger Stadium as well. We're finalizing all those details, but we're going to take advantage of the tailgating opportunity to try to make it easier for fans to get in the stadium. We're also hoping to do some pop-up vaccination events and have some spots where people can go and get vaccinated, and then if you get vaccinated on site at the game day, you can go in the game because you got that first shot. So that's what we're hoping for, is to make the game day tailgating experience as fun and normal as possible, and then also give our fans some options as they deal with some of the challenges that there will be in place to get in the stadium this year.
Cody Worsham joining us from LSU Digital Media. He's also a communication strategist over there with the Tigers. Cody, we were saying earlier, I anticipate the McNeese game to have like a big-time SEC feel to it outside of the stadium, just because it's going to be the first time people can do that, and there's been no Jazz Fest, there's been no St. Patrick's Day, there's been name it over the last year. And what do you guys anticipate? What is your department anticipating on September 11th when McNeese comes to town?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we expect. We all missed it last year. We all work on game day, obviously, but I've been known a time or two before the punching in the clock to go enjoy a tailgate on game day, and I know there's a lot of people at LSU that feel the same way. So we're excited about that. We're planning for, if not a normal season opener, something beyond that, because people do want to get together and celebrate. I know we announced these restrictions yesterday, and there's some varying attitudes on it. Of course, like this isn't ideal for anyone. This isn't ideal for us. This isn't ideal for the fans. But, you know, what it does allow is for us to gather safely and celebrate and get back together after we couldn't do that last year. I mean, last year was awful. Last year was zero fun whatsoever. It was so much work. Like, think about the student athletes. They had to get tested like 3-4 times a week last year. They had to, you know, wear masks constantly and just to play, you know, just to play and play for our fans and play in front of our people on TV. And go out there and win football games. They had to do a lot behind the scenes. So the difference this year is we got a little extra protection. We have the vaccines and we have better testing capabilities. And so it is a safer climate. And so hopefully that's our whole goal with this, is to keep it as safe as possible so we can get as many people as possible together to celebrate what we missed, to appreciate what we missed. I know that was me last year. You know, I'm a guy that took this for granted, I should say. I took all this for granted. I've been covering LSU for 10 years. I haven't, you know, it's just been part of my daily routine and my work routine. And then that stuff gets taken away from you and you realize how much you miss it and then you do anything to get it back. And I know I talked to a bunch of people that feel the same way, man. Like, do we want to go through the restrictions and make it harder for fans and staff and everyone to get there? No, we don't want to do that. But it's, you know, the question we always ask at LSU, this is a Stephanie Rimp special, is what's the alternative? And when I think about what's the alternative, it's you know, being in an atmosphere that isn't safe and that is a risk for some of our fans. So you know, we've decided to take these measures and make it as safe as possible so we can get together so that on September 11th we're celebrating, we feel safe, we feel comfortable. You know, I don't know about you, but I've had multiple people reach out to me over the last 24 hours and say, hey, like, I'm excited because I can bring my dad to the game. I was worried about doing that. Or I can bring my kid to the game and my kid can't get vaccinated because they're not old enough, and I can bring them and feel pretty safe about it. So that's what we want. We want people to feel safe and be ready to celebrate the season because it's going to be a celebration.
What's the interaction or communication been like with the league office on this announcement? Do they have, I guess, not any influence, but how much up to speed are they on this?
Yeah, they're up to speed. We gave them the typical heads up as the planning for this started. We reached out to them, engaged with them, and they were supportive. You know, they haven't put any policies league-wide across the way. This is leadership driven at LSU and within the state of Louisiana. You know, we wanted to be at the front of this, and we wanted to be the best of this and have the safest and most exciting game day atmosphere. And so they were supportive. They've offered their help in whatever way they can. But this was an LSU decision, and this was a Louisiana decision, and we're proud of that. And you know, we're excited for the season ahead.
I heard you mention golf carts. Is that just restricted to LSU personnel on game day, or can tailgaters have golf carts?
It'd be real shame if one fell off the back.
Just curious. Just curious.
I'll have to break out the tailgating handbook that I have in my files.
Sounds like a yes.
Get back to us.
Sounds like the rule's not written.
Sounds like a yes.
I'm not encouraging golf cart use. I think that's our game day personnel. I think that's for our game day personnel.
You're saying there's a chance.
I know that you are. I know that you are pressed and that your phone is blowing up. Thank you for a couple of minutes this morning, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
All right, man. There's Cody Worsham checking in from LSU this morning. I didn't hear no.
No.
I didn't hear a no.
There wasn't a no.
I didn't hear a no.
All those titles. Did that know they had the decorum on golf carts?
Abears Specialty Meats. Remember, Abears Markets is where you can find them. Abears Meats is where you can find them online at abearsmeats.com. They have two locations, of course. One is here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway, right here across from GoFlow. We were talking about GoFlow. They're right across the street from GoFlow here in Baton Rouge. The other location out on Highway 73. If you want to shop all the freezers and pick something up tonight for dinner that can get you probably to the weekend if you threw it in the oven tonight, a deboned stuffed chicken, you could throw that in tonight for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm telling you, you could probably get 2 days of eating out of it for a family of four if you were looking for something easy to put it on cruise control to get to the weekend. Get over to Abears Specialty Meats. And they can help you out today. Great freezer selection. If you're here in Baton Rouge, they've been doing some lunch specials. The staff has been down over the last couple of days, and the lunch hasn't been on the menu, but it should be back pretty soon. Abears Specialty Meats, abearsmeats.com is where you can find them. Don't forget about the holidays when they come up. If you are in charge of Christmas gifts, if you're in charge for holiday gifts, think about gift cards from Abears Specialty Meats. It goes over well. It gives whoever gets the gift a great selection of dinner items or something that they want to stop in and pick up any day over at A-Bears. All right, New Orleans Saints are gearing up for their third preseason game. It looks like their quarterback competition has been decided, you would think.
I don't know. You seem so sure, though.
I mean,
Is
what,
it-
what,
Oh,
it,
is it
Sean
it would be
Payton?
a miracle if he won this thing, right?
Awesome. How would he win it?
I don't know.
I feel
don't
like
know.
Sean has a sweet spot.
He does. He
Sean
does.
has a little sweet spot.
He
for
absolutely
Taysom.
does.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the only
we
reason
gotta
this
wait
thing
and
has
see. He
gone
absolutely
this
does.
way.
He absolutely
And I'm
does.
interested to ask Nick Underhill, will we get even an inkling of games with starters in it? Like, will Alvin Kamara even play in the preseason?
No. Why?
Because, well, you'd like a tune-up. You'd like to at least practice the game. You go into week one. I
Just hit a
think
little.
because of the extension of the season, you're going to see the first 3 to 4 weeks of the NFL season kind of not be as crisp as you may have expected.
I'm watching Hard Knocks. I mean, I know that Dak's not taking a snap after his ankle and then his shoulder injury in camp, but what do we need to see from Ezekiel Elliott? Which, by the way, he's a machine.
I love
The
that
long
guy.
the hoodie.
Ah, I just love everything about him.
But
That
when he
run.
gets
Hoodie.
moving,
He is.
and I love to see that he's mentoring the young guys, man. I love to see that he's kind of like that.
He's a great
I
guy.
don't know if people would.
Well, I feel like he's very comfortable in his position on
Very
that
much.
team, so he doesn't mind helping the guy in rec specs out. That
Yeah.
lost a contact during the game. And he's like, I'm not telling anybody. He's like, well, you probably can't see. He's like, I couldn't see. But yeah, Zeke looks.
He looks
Brother.
like a finely tuned Corvette. Like he feels like
There you go.
a machine that is ready to go. I mean,
Those cuts he's
The
making in
cuts.
practice, where he's looking 3 steps ahead before anybody. Like that's special.
and then him explaining to the young back of
Of
kind of
why
like
he's-
what he's looking for was very interesting to hear him.
And then did you see the part where he's like, hey, what? Hey, 3-8, watch this right here. And he's like, this is what I was talking about. Where he winds it out and then
Yes.
cuts up the food. He's like, watch right. Like during the play, he's telling him to
Yes.
look. I mean, he's an
Pretty smart
unbelievable.
player. I mean,
yeah.
dude. I mean, that was pretty
The
impressive.
Cowboys should be good, and they're bad every
They
year.
are. Yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Well, this is only
Probably
the
a good
second
job.
year. Jason Garrett.
Mike McCarthy. I mean, I'm looking around like I cannot believe that Jerry Jones put Mike McCarthy in charge of this group. I mean, it's amazing to me that guy, after his reputation of what he did in Green Bay, I mean, he was with Aaron Rodgers in his prime, and A-Rod hated him. Hated him. Like, didn't even look at him in the halls when they were walking past each other.
Wouldn't even go get a massage with the guy.
All I think about when I think Jerry Jones now is salting his food.
Salting.
That's all I can think about.
Got to be the thirstiest man on the planet.
my
Salty.
God.
That keeps him alive.
It's just a salt diet.
Oh my God.
No, but is
Salt
this?
lamp.
But you mentioned Jerry Jones. Is this not like maybe this is his modus operandi, to where he wants to be the guy in control, so he hires a little puppet?
How many times do we have to do this, Jerry? If you keep doing it, bro, you're going to be doing it from your grave. I mean, let's bring in somebody, get out of the way, and let them coach this roster. I mean,
Lincoln
Mike
Riley,
McCarthy.
They should be good. Amari Cooper,
Amari
CeeDee Lamb.
Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Dak
Zeke.
Prescott, Zeke
Their offensive
Elliott.
line.
Offensive line
They
is
got it.
nasty.
Great.
Parsons.
Michael Parsons,
Lawrence.
Lawrence,
Hey, buddy. 20
who's,
seconds coming
Or,
to
who's the cat from Notre Dame that played linebacker
Smith.
that they stole?
Jalen
because of-
Smith?
Jalen Smith's a dog.
I mean,
They got Bossman Fat running around out there. Like,
Who's
they've
the white
invested
linebacker?
all of
Diggs.
Diggs.
I mean,
Yeah, they gotta
They
be
got
good.
players.
Diggs'
man.
kid.
Diggs' kid stole the show.
Stole the
What
show.
a great personality that little kid's got.
It
man.
was. It was fun.
Nick Underhill is the authority for New Orleans Saints information. You have got to be a member over at, or at least a subscriber over there at NewOrleans.football, and you get the members-only podcast, which is a fantastic listen. If you're looking for the latest on what's going on with the Saints, make sure that you get over to NewOrleans.football, and every Wednesday right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, we team up with the best. What up, bro? Good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing well. How you guys doing?
Do you watch like hard? Do you pay attention to any other frame? I mean, I know that you're so deep into the Saints information and the relationships and everything that you're covering. Do you even pay attention to the rest of the? Do you watch Hard Knocks? Is my question.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I caught the first three. Yeah.
And we were talking about Ezekiel Elliott, and just how good he had. Kind of that feels like Kamara outside looking in, kind of like the way they handle him, how comfortable he is in the building, not playing any preseason games. Do you anticipate seeing Alvin this preseason, this last game coming up?
I mean, I don't want to see him. I don't think anyone needs to see him. He's proven everything he needs to prove. He's looked good in practice. He's moving well. I just think he's way too important to this season to even risk it to play him against the Arizona Cardinals to get him tuned up. Like, if something happens to Alvin, the whole season's ruined. And honestly, like, it kind of feels like they're a little bit cursed right now. Like, everything that can go wrong for this team is going wrong, except for, these other things. Him and Marshawn Lattimore, I'd keep them on ice. I don't think they need to do anything. Let them go out there. And look, if they need a game or two to kind of get their legs under them, let that happen during the season when it actually matters and those stats actually count for something. I wouldn't do it at all. But look, the one thing I will say about Hard Knocks watching it, like, what has stood out to me outside of Marquez Callaway, like, when I was watching those episodes, I'm like, man, these guys are making a lot of highlight plays in practice, and they got like 3 or 4 wide receivers doing it. Like, there's one guy for the Saints doing that. So that's been like kind of a little bit of a juxtaposition that kind of put into context for me just how the Saints receivers are right now outside of just one guy.
You mentioned Alvin Kamara not playing in the preseason. It makes me wonder how seriously will the NFL take these first 3 games? Because when they extended the season to 17 games, I don't think they saw this as kind of a blowback to where a lot of franchises might use these first 3 or 4 games to kind of get their feet underneath them. Is this going to be like I won't say a bad product, but it seems like they will all be getting on the same page kind of throughout the regular season as opposed to the preseason?
Yeah, look, I think for a couple of years it's kind of gotten worse and worse, a little sloppier earlier in the season, and teams just kind of take a little bit longer to ramp up just because of the practice rules and what they aren't allowed to do. I mean, the Saints have practiced completely inside because like they're down to only, I think, being allowed to practice for 2.5 hours, and if they're outside, they need 8 water breaks, and you go 3 minutes of water break, you're losing a half hour of practice. Where inside it's 2 or 3, and you can cut down on that time and kind of maximize the stuff that you're able to do. But yeah, I mean, I think going into the season, it's definitely going to be a little bit sloppier. It's probably going to look a little, not as bad as last year was early in the season, but something similar to that. You see a lot of teams kind of dialing back, and by preseason game 2, a lot of teams already weren't playing a lot of their starters. And this is the point you make is interesting because I go back to the Mike Thomas thing, and a lot of people, the comment was, what's he doing out there in a garbage time moment in a game they're winning? And it's 2 things. A, they're playing Tom Brady in a 34-23 game. And B, there wasn't a preseason. So these teams needed to get everybody up to speed, get some chemistry going, get on the same page. That's a week 1 game. I think under those circumstances, it was more than justifiable to have him on the field in that moment. And, typically in a normal season where everybody's ramped up and you are up, I could see that argument. But given how last year played out, I mean, it made sense to me for him to be on the field in the 4th quarter of that game.
Did Jameis Winston close the book on the competition versus Jacksonville on Monday night?
You guys watched the game, right?
Is it that obvious? Is it that obvious?
I mean, I thought it was. I don't think that there's any other possible opinion after watching that game. I mean, just the way he reads the field is just different than, Taysom Hill. I mean, the first touchdown, I don't think Taysom Hill, A, can make that throw, and B, I don't know if he sees the coverage the same way. I mean, it was a cover 3 coverage as soon as the safety bit the over route. He hits Marquez Callaway down the field, and it's something you got to see quickly. It's something that you got to be locked in on, and you got to have the arm to get it there. And Taysom has an arm, but not as much arm as Jameis Winston. And just these little things, I think, that you see with Jameis and the things he's able to do, that's what you see out of a 7-8 year NFL starter. A guy that's been playing consistently since college all the way through versus a guy that played in college kind of more as a running quarterback. Takes some time. He's playing special teams in the NFL, and now he's back in the pocket trying to, get used to seeing these things and doing these things. And I just don't think that he's quite there yet. And Taysom tried. He put in his best effort. He got better every single year. I commend his progress. I disagree with everybody who thinks that it was a wasted experiment and he has no business trying to do this. I think that he's proven it. He's a good backup quarterback that can go in there and win games for you as a starter versus, a guy that has a lot of experience playing quarterback. I just don't think that he could hang with that. And that was pretty evident to me, throughout training camp. I think I mentioned last time I was on here, if you laid out every practice, I think Jameis probably had the best 5 practices. And, then after that, it was a little bit back and forth and up and down. And I think some of that's due to, the back and forth nature of what they're doing out there. One guy's playing with the first team, one guy's playing with the second team. They flip-flop. But just overall, I think Jameis, just his ceiling is way too high. And when he plays well, it looks like that. And when Taysom plays well, it doesn't look like that. So I think you have to go with Jameis Winston.
What is the team's reaction to this, I guess, debate between Jameis and Taysom? Do you think they react differently when they see Jameis enter the huddle versus when Taysom enters the huddle?
I think both guys, like, as far as like their leadership and how they relate with the team, I think both guys have their own way of doing things, and it works. I would say right now, like, after seeing Jameis play that game, I would assume that everybody on that team feels the same way about which way the decision needs to go. I mean, it was just so obvious. But the way they react to him, I think it is probably a little bit different. I think Taysom's a more serious person, and Jameis kind of relates to him on a different level. And people think he's funny, but when it comes time to lead and everything, he still gets it done. So it's two different approaches that I think both are very effective. And the one thing about Jameis, before he even ended up here, like, guys on this team when the season they were on Hard Knocks, like, they would talk about Jameis' leadership and just how he seemed like a natural football player. And these are Saints players talking about the Bucs, and now he's on the team, and I think he's matured and probably gotten even better at that stuff. But I think they're both good leaders. I think they both command the huddle pretty well.
You had an interesting tweet yesterday that stood out, talking about David Onyemata and just one of the skill sets that he has that we may not be too aware of, just because he's been pretty dominant in the middle over the last couple of seasons, is his ability to edge rush. How has his versatility shown this camp, and how are they going to use him even when they get him back from suspension?
Yeah, it's been insane. So he's going to be out those first 6 games, and because Peyton Turner's hurt, they've been using him at defensive end late in these games just because there's just not enough players, and they don't want to mess up their rotations and where they're putting people. And Onyemata is going to be out for a while, so let him get some work. And they've been putting him at defensive end, and he's been dominating there. Like, he had 5 pressures off the edge, and he looks like a legitimate, like, edge rusher. I think his ultimate value is still in the middle. Like, interior rush is much more valuable, just in the way the NFL's played today, that, just people get the ball out so quickly. And if you can create that interior rush, I mean, it's just disruptive because the quarterback sees it and it naturally hurries them. So, like, an Aaron Donald's always going to have more value than, somebody on the outside. And I think Onyemata is a better interior rusher than edge rusher. But he has the ability to do that, and it's convincing. And I could see something, when they come back and they get him on the field, I can see him moving about the defensive line just a little bit, some change-ups just to keep people confused and not know where he's coming from. And they do a lot of stuff anyhow on third downs with, like, a 3-man front. And if they had another interior guy, which I don't think they really have right now, Jalen Dalton just went on IR, so they're down another person there. It looks like Christian Ringo, as things stand, is probably their starting defensive tackle. But theoretically, if they had another interior guy, like in those 3-man fronts, you could put him on one edge, get your other interior guy in there, and, it's just another changeup. But, man, he's been outstanding at that, and his ability is crazy, just how good he's gotten, coming from where he came from, Manitoba College or whatever it's called. And, he had never really lined up over anybody on a line. They're 5 yards off. Just how far he's come from that to where he is now to a do everything defensive lineman is crazy. And I think there's an argument to be made that he might be their most talented player on defense. And, that's a big statement. There's some guys out there, but he's that good. And I think he's that disruptive. And I think he's going to continue to be that good and that disruptive when he comes back.
Wow. Nick Underhill joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. NewOrleans.football is the website. Make sure you get your subscription heading into football season, and you can keep up with Nick and everything that's happening on the site and with him on social media at Nick_Underhill. Make sure you follow the NewOrleans.football on YouTube as well. In your latest write-up after the film session, you talk about Cesar Ruiz playing good for the second straight week. How have you seen this second-year pro starting to develop here in training camp?
He's been good 2 weeks in a row. He kind of got beat a little bit last week against Baltimore on a play. It was late in play, the pressure didn't really count for anything. So 2 weeks in a row, he hasn't given anything up. And, I think that's huge for them, because for me, he's kind of like I guess I call him like a pressure point player, where if depending on how his season went, I think would impact a lot of different things. And if he plays well, that offensive line's better. They aren't giving up that interior pressure. Jameis doesn't see that stuff coming at him. He isn't rushed into bad decisions. He's able to stay back there, stay calm, get the ball out, not turn it over. And if Ruiz is bad, it's the opposite of all those things. And I think, you start seeing that stuff coming at you, and you're Jameis, and you're, fighting your I don't know, the way you're predetermined to kind of just make bad decisions, predisposed to make bad decisions, that you got guys coming at you, and you start falling into those bad habits. And last year, Breeze, it's coming at him because of Ruiz. He gets hurt because Ruiz gives up a pressure. And Breeze is a different player. He's a veteran. He's not going to make those mistakes. But you change that up, and it a lot of things could start falling apart. So they need him to play well. I think that's probably one of the more important things that's happened through this preseason, is that through those 2 games, he isn't giving anything up. I think overall is an offensive line, their run blocking isn't quite where it needs to be. You really don't see any holes for Latavius Murray. Tony Jones was up last week. He had 1 run for 11 yards. His other runs, he had nowhere to go. So I think that's something that line needs to do a lot better, and they need to figure that out kind of quickly. I don't think it's an emergency type situation or anything like that, because they always figure out a way to get it done. But it is a little bit sloppy right now. And, going back to the earlier question, if they don't get that 3rd preseason game, if the starters aren't out there for it, that's one of those things that you go into the season and you're trying to figure out early and kind of get in that rhythm. And there's a little bit of sloppiness, and eventually they'll figure it out because there's way too much talent. But it is something that needs to get better. But Ruiz has definitely been a bright spot early on. I think that he's figured a lot of things out. Having a normal offseason has really paid off for him. And the other thing, too, Zach Streif is on the coaching staff now, and he works with him a lot on his technique. And he's been able to kind of reach him and start bringing out the best of him. So I think we're starting to see the player that he was supposed to be. And all signs right now are looking good for him.
Could the Saints work on Hard Knocks? I could see Peyton fighting the producer.
I don't think that they ever would go on there. He said that he would never cut a player on camera. They're too secretive and too combative about things. But, man, this would have been an outstanding season for it. The quarterback battle, the Mike Thomas stuff, just all of it would have been really, really good. Good drama, definitely, for sure, if they were on there.
If they don't make the playoffs, maybe they can get them next year with Aaron Rodgers in the building and the top 5 picks.
They would be awesome. Circled on the calendar, dude. Rodgers coming. Our
absolute favorite and the premier as far as information goes on New Orleans Saints. If you are a Saints fan or looking for information, get over to NewOrleans.football today and subscribe. Follow Nick Underhill on Twitter, and every Wednesday you can hear him here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Thank you, man. We'll talk again next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, man. There was Nick Underhill checking in from NewOrleans.football. As I agree with that. The Saints and Hard Knocks do not look like a couple that would get along very well.
But there's nothing they can do about it, right? I don't think there's
but there is, though. There is. I mean, Peyton is so arrogant and rich at this point that he'll cut the check.
Fine.
He would probably do it in such like a way that like a store, or like he would probably like mail him a blank check or something and say, you cut it. However much you need to fine me, you just cut the check. I mean, I agree with Underhill. That would be bad television. It just wouldn't work.
He would try to lock everybody out of the building.
It's built on information. It's built on the stories behind the scenes. He wouldn't allow that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't even allow that to go down. And he would probably have his team so warped, like from the announcement date of, do not give in to these guys. Yeah. Do not allow them into your apartment. Do not allow them into your life, because they are the devil. You know what I mean? Like, and gonna have them so scared that it would probably just be Hard Knocks with like shots of the field all day. I mean, just
practice footage.
It's just a sprinkler. For 55 minutes.
Maybe worse than the Rams.
Let's go talk to Drew. He'll talk.
All right, that conversation with Nick Underhill weekly. That one today brought to you by AdvantaClean. ADVANTA clean.com. Get in touch with Bradley Lynch. Water, fire, or mold damage. If you see it, smell it, or sense it around the home or office, get in touch with AdvantaClean. They are pros when it comes to getting you right over at AdvantaClean. Water, fire, and mold damage. ADVANTA clean.com. We'll answer your food questions next. Get them inside of the bunker. Get inside the chat app. As we get out of here on this Wednesday, we'll close it out with Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois next from Duck Camp Dinners here on Duck Camp Diner. On
Meat Eaters.
Dinners?
Dinners. Yeah, you always go diners, drive-ins, and dives. I mean, we get Fit Eddie if you want him on, but
we'll be right back here. Jordy Culotta Show.
We got Chef. Duck Camp Diners.
Did y'all see that comment that said this LSU talking about
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. All right, good stuff from Nick Underhill here on this Wednesday morning. Make sure and check out his stuff over at NewOrleans.football if you want to keep up with the latest with the Saints. As far as our next guest goes, we get over to JeanPaulBourgeois.com, where you can keep up with our chef here on the Jordy Culotta Show. The extremely well-traveled, the South Louisiana obsessed, and the very talented chef, Jean-Paul Bourgeois. Yes, indeed. Joining us just like he does every Wednesday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. A little nasally this morning, but back at it, a warrior for us. Here is the chef. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm sounding a little nasally this morning. Just battling a little cold, and it's got I think it's the sinuses here in South Louisiana. It's kind of finally getting to me after 37 years. Now I have some sinus issues. That's it.
It's all these business meetings you've been having.
Oh, man.
No comment.
How's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing good, Chef. We are doing good. Gearing up for football season. We're heading out to L.A. Chef, I'm surprised that doesn't happen to you more often with the way that you travel and just the amount that you're kind of picking up and moving. It probably is a good testimony for eating right or just eating good.
How do you mean?
Just like, I mean, you being sick for the first time in a while. I'd imagine with all your travels that you would be.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting thing. I think it's because I've been doing a lot of filming outside here in Louisiana, and I've always been susceptible to when I sweat. I'm a sweater. That's maybe too much information.
No,
but
we're
in
good.
South Louisiana, it's hard not to be. But going in and out of the heat and humidity and then into the air conditioner to cool off and so on and so forth, I've always been a little susceptible to those change of temperatures, those rapid change of temperatures, and I think I just got a little head cold from it.
What's the preparation like for duck hunting season for you guys? Because I mean, we're right here, kind of gearing up for it, right? I mean, this is kind of the preseason.
You're right. In about 2 weeks, they'll have teal season. Early teal season starting throughout all the country. In Louisiana, it starts in September. It goes for 3 weekends, I believe. And gearing up for that is just to make sure you have enough bug spray in your blind, because the mosquitoes are nasty that time of year in September still. It hasn't had any type of cooling to knock those mosquitoes down. So make sure you have plenty of that. And you have some light hunting gear. A lot of people hunt in shorts, and if you can bear the mosquitoes, that's all good too. I still go in pants just to give me a little extra protection. As for the fall and big duck season, for me, that's the hardest time to keep eating right and just eating well, I guess.
Camp life,
having camp life and road life, and just eating where you can, and Twinkies in the duck blind at 5 a.m. It's just, that maybe not Twinkies for me, but a lot of people love those powdered donuts. Which I don't like powdered donuts, but
I'm with you.
It's one of those things that you try to get in good habits before the season starts, and your hope is, as you go out through the season, those habits will continue. In my case, most of the time they do not. It's just really hard, and I'm always really impressed with folks who can continue healthy eating habits throughout the season.
You mentioned the mosquitoes when you go into the duck blind. Have you heard any of these rumors about Victoria's Secret perfume that keeps the bug off you? Because I know a bunch of my boys down south that they don't want to admit that, but they know that it works.
I've never heard that in my life.
Wow.
Now, I have heard, and I can attest to this, because it's a vino, like skin, almost like it's
it's like the coconut oil.
Like moisture. It's not so much they make now. I think it's a vino or something like that. Anyways, it's one that you have to buy from like a supplier. You can't just go pick it up at Walgreens or Walmart or whatever. And there's a oil in it that actually will keep. It doesn't deter the mosquitoes, but it keeps. It forms a slick over your skin, and it keeps them from actually wanting to land on you. It's not like a like off would be, where it's a deterrent. Just kind of something about it, and it works actually really well. And it works for no-see-ums too. And those familiar with coastal like fishing and stuff, if you're familiar with no-see-ums, they can be just as pesky as mosquitoes. So I always have a little bottle of that.
Is it Avon Skin So Soft?
Avon,
is that what you're talking
that's
about?
it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Avon,
you can't pick that up in the store. You have to order it.
We have
Thank you for that. Avon Skin So Soft. That's right.
We've got
sponsorship.
Back-to-back people inside of the bunker that wrote in about the Victoria's Secret perfume, Amber Romance.
Amber Romance. Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't even
Is the
checked.
scent.
That's the
We
one.
use it for our
That's it?
baseball team. They do. All the boys use it. Keeps
That's
the gnats
wild.
off of them in the outfield.
Chef, you have talked about your love for smash burgers here routinely on this spot. Somebody asks inside of the bunker, ask the chef, what's his favorite smash burger recipe?
Yeah, I mean, I'll season my smash burgers with salt, pepper, and granulated garlic. Like I don't have nothing more than that. Even some people kind of balk at the granulated garlic because that can kind of burn or become bitter if you're not careful. But really, it's just about the technique. A 550-degree griddle, a nice hard press from even a spatula or a tool mitt to press that burger, and that's going to create just that wonderful Maillard reaction against that metal of the griddle and the meat and all those amino acids caramelizing and everything. So it's not so much a recipe per se, but it's a technique, and that's what's actually, for me, fun. Because in the end, you're just browning meat, right? But how you brown it and the temperature you brown it at, the speed in which you brown it at matters. Now, obviously, there's all these little special sauces. Personally, I like making almost like a crawfish dip, like having stuff, mayonnaise, ketchup, a little yellow mustard, some hot sauce, maybe some chopped onion, maybe a little extra, little Worcestershire sauce or extra little things there. That's actually a pretty good spread or like special sauce for any cheeseburger or hamburger. It also makes, obviously, as we know as South Louisianians, a great seafood dip for your boiled crawfish, shrimp, and some crabs, and so on and so forth. So, but it actually, in my opinion, actually does really well in that type of application. I'm a dill pickle and raw white onion and yellow mustard, and I'll put on a little special sauce or whatever. But I'm pretty simple when it comes to that. I like the dill, the sharp dill pickle, kind of cutting through all that fat, the crunchy, sweet yellow onion, and of course a nice buttered bun. I think you can't overstate the importance of a good hamburger bun. Nice, soft, squishy, maybe a little sweet from a Hawaiian roll or a potato roll, but buttered on both sides and then griddled to get that nice toasty quality to it.
Hell of a salesman.
I know. This is a good segue into a question Lloyd and I have been discussing. Chef, how do you feel about American cheese? It's out there being hated again. We don't hate it. Do you hate it?
I do not hate it. I think it has a home in certain cooking, and cheeseburgers are one of them.
Yeah,
I like cheddars and so on, but I say this in the most flattering way I can about American cheese. It makes for a great glue
Binder.
Okay.
It makes for a great binder, and I would say that even for like scrambled egg dishes or cheeseburger dishes. It just has a melting quality that no other cheese has. You can say what you want about it. Maybe it's flavorless to some, maybe, but it does. I believe it does have a home in certain areas.
Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeois joining us here, just as he does every Wednesday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We had Barrett Pepper, a listener, ask in, Chef, I am making my first king cake today. Any advice?
Oh, man.
Whoa.
Don't like to hear that. Don't like to hear that.
I wish maybe he can give me some advice.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been very successful on making so the way I think about recipes is I think about my ideal. In this case, I would say okay, what do I want my ideal king cake to taste like? Do I want to have more cinnamon, more brown sugar? Like, how light do I want it? How much icing do I want it? Like, what's my ideal perfect king cake? Then I'll try to reverse engineer that. And what I've had success with is great cinnamon roll recipes. And every time I have a great cinnamon roll recipe I use, and I've tried to use a king cake recipe separately, and I haven't had a lot of success using that king cake recipe. And so in the future, when I make a king cake, I'm just going to make my cinnamon roll recipe into a loop or a circle or a braid or however you want to do that. Because my cinnamon roll recipe is one of those recipes where I was like, this is my ideal cinnamon roll, like soft, gooey, good amount of cinnamon and brown sugar, certain type of icing and so on. So, that's how I'm going to go. That would be my advice is if you have a recipe like a cinnamon roll that you can use as a base recipe to make your king cake, go ahead. The king cake recipes I have made from other sources always come out a little too dense for me and not just soft and have that good chew that I like about them. So good luck to you. I know next time I'll be using my cinnamon roll recipe.
Chef, since you are sick, what is your best recipe to kind of cure maybe a head cold, or what's your go-to food when you're sick and maybe not that hungry, but you got to eat?
Man, I don't really lose my appetite when I'm sick. I think one of the best things I can do is get outside and just walk or jog or just sweat. I mean, of course, I suppose if you're really, really sick, that's probably not a good idea, especially in this time of year in Louisiana. But I always find that just really even helps me out for the day, just get my kind of endorphins going, my blood going. It cleans out my sinuses and so on, which is what I'm having issues with right now. I drink celery juice every morning. We juice 2 heads of celery, my wife and I, and it's not because I love the taste of it, but it always feels like a great start to my day. It gets me really hydrated, before I start drinking water and my 5-6 cups of coffee that I have in the morning. So, those little things that I try to do daily as a routine, I think keep me healthy even through all the traveling and all, like, maybe the not so healthy eating. But as far as, the type of food I like and getting, if I'm sick, I don't know, man. I kind of crave comfort foods no matter what, whether, some people that might be chicken noodle soup, some people that might be a shrimp po' boy, I'm not sure. But I think whatever is just going to make you feel better, just like internally going to warm your soul is a good start.
Chef, last one. We'll get you out of here. Go get healthy. Ask the chef about his time he spent with TikTok star Stale Cracker.
Man, this is like the third person for 24 hours that asked me this.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if people know his real name. I do, so I'll leave that out of it. It's always hard for me to refer to him as Stale Cracker because I know him from being a child. He's a childhood friend. He graduated a couple years before me in high school, and he is just as funny and exciting to be around as he was when we were 10 years old. And he hasn't lost that kind of childhood, kind of like that childlike fun you have with people. And I think that's just awesome. And too many people take themselves way too seriously and forget what it's like to have a good time as a kid. Even the other day, literally yesterday, I was running around this backyard. It was freshly cut, and we were throwing the football, kicking the soccer ball, and I was like, man, I forget how good, like, grass feels underneath your feet, like walking or like running around barefooted. And it just reminded me about being a kid, and that's what Stale Cracker kind of like. He just has that spirit about him. Now he's a grown man, and he was really good at football and baseball and all that. He's a heck of an athlete.
Got some pythons.
Yeah, he's always been built like he's always had that really athletic build, and he's kept it up. And he's just so funny, man. I don't ever remember him being so sharp with his lines as he is now, but obviously he's doing something that really resonates with people, and he's doing awesome at it. So I had a really good time cooking. He's one of those guys. He's one of those Cajun cooks that reminds you of like grandma cooking, or your pawpaw who used to cook a gumbo on Saturdays or whatever. He just has like a really wholesome, heartfelt style of cooking that really comes through when you eat his food. His wife is a great cook too.
Damn.
And that's just South Louisiana, right?
Sure.
They're both Louisianians. So I think that he's a really fun guy to hang around and to cook with. And even when the cameras aren't on, there's beers to be had, there's cooking to be done, there's jokes to be told. And it's not a persona that he puts on and the camera light comes on. It's really a genuine thing that he's just like, well, shoot, if I'm going to be like this in real life, I might as well tape it, or film it.
Chef, is the hair real on Stale Cracker?
No comment.
Whoa!
No comment.
All right. Get healthy. We'll talk to you next week.
Y'all going to have to figure that one out yourself.
I think we just did. Have a great week.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks.
Have a good morning.
See
Bye.
you. There's the chef, Jean-Paul Bourgeois, checking in this morning for your food questions. Thank you for your interaction today. Have a great Wednesday. We will be back with you tomorrow morning here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Already Thursday.
Crazy.
That's nuts, dude.
Wait, how southern is the chef to be like, I don't eat any food. I go outside and do yard work. It's like, I'm just going to
taking a
sweat
jog?
and snarl this thing out to where I feel better. That's so South Louisiana.
Never done
I forgot what I was going to say. Has anybody drank celery juice?
Yeah, I have.
Is it good?
I mean, it's not good.
I mean, is it real good for you?
It's good for you.
Gotta be good.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I don't
There's
think it tastes great.
There's a lot of water in celery.
Yeah.
But that's like
It's mostly water.
You gotta be on that upper echelon to have like a juicer and stuff. You can't just be making it. You gotta have an appliance to suck down the celery juice. Unless you buy it.
Juicer?
Oh, I don't have a juicer.
Oh.
You thought I did, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
You totally
Definitely.
thought I did. I know. You totally. I thought
somebody
you were
steal
looking
it?
at me because of the hot girls and boys video chat blowing up our bunker, but
What's going on?
I don't know.
that?
I don't know. Apparently, they want us to get into a video.
Chef.
Chat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean they're making sure we see it.
They really are making sure.
We'll pin that one.
We see it.
OnlyFans is on its way out. They got to get people in while they can.
Poor OnlyFans.
Did you see where the OnlyFans CEO said he got bullied out of his space?
Yes.
By MasterCard, and they didn't want the charges. I wonder if that's because people are embarrassed to see it on their statement.
Yes, they're embarrassed.
So they want to do it.
They're
Just
embarrassed
take
for
a
They're
someone
embarrassed to
see
see
it.
it on their statement, but they're probably pumping out millions a month.
I didn't know what.
Yes, yeah, dangerous right there.
Yeah.
Gotta watch your verbiage.
It's
Yeah.
after 8:45.
But OnlyFans,
How does the model
I don't
exist?
understand how you get bullied out by a credit card company.
It is
They call
very
the shots.
strange.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't they call the shots in a place where their credit card is being swiped thousands of times a day?
They had $5 billion in revenue last year.
I mean,
OnlyFans. Why would you
what-
care whatever they're doing? They could be selling, I guess, sex and.
Just it's dirty
and
money. I don't know.
Well, especially in today's day and age, it feels like it's been the most sex positive venture
Yeah.
like America has ever seen. So why would you squander it now?
The founder of OnlyFans blames
Big credit card.
big banks like JP Morgan Chase for forcing him to ban sexually explicit content and says the company will absolutely bring back porn if Wall Street becomes
I love
more
that
accepting.
Porn.
CEO Tim Stokely told the Financial Times on Tuesday the change in policy, we had no choice. The short answer is banks. He said unfair banks often unfairly flag transactions or even outright refuse to work with OnlyFans due to reputational risk, making it difficult for the company to transfer money to the hundreds of thousands of sex workers who use the platform to sell explicit videos and photos. Stokely's comments come less than a week after OnlyFans announced it will ban sexually explicit content on the platform while still allowing some nudity. Many sex workers who use OnlyFans said they were blindsided by the abrupt rule change and are having, after having built lucrative followings, selling dirty pictures and videos on the platform.
Money's money. Love is love.
Well, and I would imagine if these.
I mean, I've never heard of such a thing.
I know,
No.
it's very strange.
I mean,
for the-
isn't there much more lewd businesses out there than
I mean, Ashley,
digital sex?
Ashley Madison, I would imagine. What are y'all doing? Whenever that got leaked, that probably ruined like half the population.
Yeah.
But,
3/4 of Baton Rouge.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
But also, how dumb do you have to be to put that on? Like, oh, I'll sign up for this. This will
dumb.
never come back to haunt me at all.
So dumb.
But I guess if you're an OnlyFans worker and you have like a good following, why wouldn't you just start your own website
That's
and
true.
not do it through
Linktree.
Good
OnlyFans
true.
and just Linktree it? Yeah.
I'm beyond disappointed in OnlyFans' decision. Angry and betrayed would be more an
are?
accurate description. OnlyFans creator Courtney Tillia, who rakes in between $20,000 and $100,000 per month on the platform.
That's amazing.
Wait, she performs on it also?
Yes.
Yes.
And she's the creator.
This decision was made to safeguard their funds and
know.
subscriptions for increasingly unfair actions by banks and media companies. Stokely said that OnlyFans pays out over $300 million a month to the 1 million creators, and we're blowing this business model up for what? Why? For the reputational risks on credit card statements? Get the bleep out of here. There's something more on this. I mean, $300 million a month this company is paying out, and we're locking the doors because you're a little turned off that they're selling sex in 2021 digitally? I mean, it's not even hand-to-hand combat.
And you don't even have to do anything. You just get, like, if you're MasterCard, you're just getting money. And, hey, MasterCard, I've got a little news for you. They're doing a lot worse things with your credit card
I mean, like, really?
agree.
than you think. You know, you're
So they-
associated with a lot of things.
They already have
Jeez.
1,000 people who police the content, so they're hiring 200 new
How
moderators.
do you get that job?
I know. How do you get that job?
Look, that was really hot, but I don't know if that's going to be able to go over. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that today.
Imagine going home to your wife like, honey, I've had a really hard day at work. Like, you can't even imagine. I just need to sit down and relax.
Rigid as fuck out there, man. I mean,
These jeans are stretched. Exhausted.
I'm a hole, just like a gaping hole in my head.
God, could you imagine that collection of people that's like, I'm a moderator for
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Like, oh my God.
I'm a regulator at OnlyFans.
You need that link? I got it.
I know you.
Yeah.
I regulate OnlyFans.
Goes with the bank.
You should have gone with the Tuesday edition, not the Wednesday, bro.
Whatever you did last week is not working for me.
Thank God the kids are in school now. Nobody has to worry about
that's
them
right.
hearing this in
there
the car.
you go. This is second hour content for you.
After hours.
Actually, third hour content.
Yeah.
It is third hour.
JC show after hours.
Yeah.
What was going on in the bunker today? I couldn't
lot.
even go there, bro. Good lord.
A lot.
So much poison and vitriol.
I know. I said y'all be sweet, but no one seemed to really pay attention.
No.
Well, I'm sure that really straightened them up.
That helped the gunfight.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the principal stepping in and saying, "Y'all be quiet,"
For the sub
and then
rolling
closing
in,
the door and walking back out.
Hey, quit that.
We clearly all have different opinions, and we could all agree to disagree.
I think the best thing that happened is that we got the tailgating news.
Totally.
Yes.
That's
And the
a
golf cart.
game changer,
Totally.
dude. And
Yeah,
the golf cart
and the
news
golf cart
that they
news.
don't know what they would do
Yeah.
if the JC show rolled up on a couple of segways and a golf cart.
Cannot wait
Dude, you
to
just
do
put a
that.
screwdriver in and start it, I bet.
Oh, you could probably grab a key from Greystone
Yeah.
and pop it in one of these golf carts and it would work.
We need our own golf cart.
Yeah.
With a wrap on it.
Radio.
JC show, wrapped in JC
I need
show.
sound.
Yeah, we need it all.
Decked
I mean, I'd actually like a 6-seater if I'm being greedy.
Do you want the two
Well, yeah.
backs?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Well, it would need to be to fit all of us. If 5 of us were in there.
I mean, Jack alone's taking up 2
I mean,
seats.
He's in
Yeah.
the back
Yeah.
with the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need a 6-seater. So
Just
anybody
need a
got
gator
a
instead.
Gator you could get anywhere. You could get on the field if you had a gator.
You could also kill somebody on
Let's-
campus,
Yeah, you
Yes.
could.
which would be a
Gator.
A
terrible
little too speedy for
liability problem. Yes, it's too fast
Down
for
Victory
something
Hill.
like that. Even like the kind of like the in the backwoods. You know what I mean? If you're at a camp on a range, you know, one of those gators or range, like, whoa, bro, we're moving down this
Yeah.
hill, man.
Did you just shift gears?
But yet not on campus. I mean, because even the golf cart on campus is going to be a little congested in the
Think
heavy
of it.
areas. I'm telling you, we need almost like a golf cart bicycle type
Scooter?
combination where you can like park the golf cart on the fringe of tailgating, then move to the bicycle where you can just kind of weave in and out of the traffic.
Are the bike taxis allowed on campus? The people that come pick you up and you sit in their trailer and they bike you away.
taxis.
Y'all know these.
Yeah,
What are
like
they
kind
called?
of like the Bourbon Street.
Yeah. I've seen those
have
around.
you ever taken a bike
Vietnam?
taxi?
I've taken a bike taxi in Chicago.
Okay.
I've taken one in New Orleans.
I feel bad for him. I can't make
Yeah.
myself do it.
How
Who
can
am
you
I?
feel bad?
wanna
How
do
can you
it. It's
build- How can you feel
exercise.
bad for somebody that's? I mean, they're voluntarily signing up. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not. It's
I
not
mean,
some
they're getting
type
a
of
workout.
It's not some type of punishment. And as vain as you are, and as much as you've tried to do some experimental workouts, a bike taxi might be something that you ought to think about.
I know, but
should.
the sun's beating down. It's hot, and then there's certain
They're
people
choosing
that
to do it, though.
I know, but they don't know who they're signing up to bring on a ride.
Yeah.
Not particularly
Don't be a
me.
bike taxi, then.
I'm saying there's other people out there that you might not want two of, and at the same time, you're like,
We have to be able to fit.
I mean, I don't
in
know
the
if I
thing.
can. I don't even know if
Physically.
I can physically do this. And then some people don't think about it at all, especially at an LSU tailgate where the weight varies.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
And
they
then
make
so,
money and they get exercise. I'd rather
Yeah,
take
but
that
I'm not
over a
signing in.
horse-pulled one.
No way,
Like,
the
I
horses
feel-
can pull you.
I feel sorry for the mules in New Orleans. I'd
No,
rather
you don't.
I'd rather
No,
a
you
person
don't.
pulling me. I do.
What?
That's
sorry,
what's
I
that's
do.
what's wrong. That's like
Katie.
that is
What?
Why is that what's wrong
That's a
with
Mississippi State take.
Which
That's almost an Ole Miss.
crazy.
That's actually an Ole Miss take.
me? Why is that what's wrong with me though?
well, no, I do it too because like, it's like when you watch a movie, like John Wick is the perfect example. When they kill the dog, you're
Yeah.
like, I can't believe they just did this.
know.
The movie proceeds where John Wick kills 1,000 people, and you're like, don't bat an eye. But one dog dies, and we're like, well,
Yeah.
what can we do to change this?
Um,
I'm
Wick's
like
great.
that too.
Yeah, no, I
couldn't
agree.
watch
That's what-
Yellowstone because a horse died in the very beginning, and I quit. I never watched it.
See, like on
I did.
movies like that. What's the Mel Gibson movie, the old one where he's in the war?
Oh,
The Patriot?
no,
Is
not
that
the
it?
Patriot.
No, the Patriots. What I'm thinking of because they kill a couple of horses
Oh,
in that,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh, he didn't know he signed up for war. That guy didn't want to go down. Like the horse is just being a horse.
I know. It's sad.
Have a good day. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Make sure to like, share, and comment on all of the posts. We appreciate your interaction.
Yeah,
Go
comment.
Chevrolet. Yes, comments. GEAUX. Today we put up that tailgating is completely open. Let's see what the comments say.
Oh yeah.
Which
comments
spots do
on
you
my
want us to
Twitter,
do
but I
a
do it Instagram.
pregame show from?
What's that?
So we could do a pregame show.
Yeah.
You know?
Next
Maybe
week,
come here.
right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks
First
from
home game.
Saturday. Enjoy
Yeah, that's
today.
right.
We're back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
too. Boy, I will really kill you out here. Yeah, rejoice that. Well, LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Bitch, I don't play that shit. I will kill out here. Anybody play with me, I will kill you out here. Yeah. LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty.
This is my shit.
LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Bitch, I don't play that shit. LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty. LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty. Bitch, I don't play that shit. Anybody play with me, I will kill you out here. I will kill you out here. I will kill you out here. Anybody play with me, I will kill you out here. I will kill you out here. Bitch, I don't play that shit. LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty. LSU fan came, stuck his spike in my booty. Stuck his spike in my booty.